Hey, nephew. Hello, nephew.
Hello, Auntie.
Hey, so I don't have you on. I ain't letting nobody else in yet. We'll let them in a minute. So these people crazy, right? So they on this post something, but they ain't got the email. You know I can pull it up. That one royalty lady, she didn't open up the email 4 fucking times. The one on from Friday, because you remember I sent it Friday and then again
Hmm.
today. So I pulled it up. Everybody on that post, and they number three of them, all three of them has opened this email up several times. They crazy. We about to get this shit done. You know, we're going back over Bill and Era. We about to boom, bam, boom. Man, I found some other shit too I want to show. Um, we gonna put everybody on mute. We're not gonna allow them to be able to mute themselves. We're going straight through our fucking presentation and we'll answer 10 questions and that's gonna be the fuck it, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, you can start letting them in.
All right. Give me just
Oh,
1 second.
wait, I gotta make you go host. Shit, hold on.
Oh yeah, I was waiting on that too. All right, yeah. Let me get my. You said you got some new stuff. Let me get this going here. All right, I'm gonna let them in, and I am going to mute them. So we are going to get right into it, Auntie. Okay, here we go.
Okay. Okay, so now y'all see this recording button up here, right? It was up here last class too. They played me. They did not want y'all to have that information, but it's cool. You see, I'll run it back in a minute, even though we were supposed to be off today. Before we get started, I do appreciate everybody who came back on today, the new people that we allowed in, new people. Be grateful that the recording did not work or you would not be in here because I did close registration. Then I closed it again. I opened it again because as you guys see before we get started, as you guys see that I am being attacked always by everybody that can possibly, come at me. Please stop sending it to my DM. I don't care because this is my philosophy. If your process, your templates, your whatever they selling is working, why are they worried about the Path to Freedom family? We are minding our business, doing our own thing. I am just teaching y'all how to read properly and how to properly fill out forms and stand on your own 2 feet. I do understand that standing on your own 2 feet means that they cannot sell you a process or a template. I do understand. Now you'll know the difference when you're seeing different TikToks and the things people saying. You're able to say, wait, that's cap for real, because you have the foundation. I got tough skin. I'm okay with it. A few of you guys who actually truly care about me sent me messages talking about it's upsetting. It don't upset me. They did it to me and breaking generational curses. They're going to do it now. It's not going to stop me from helping y'all. Point blank, period. They tried it all. Okay, from a mug shot. Yeah, that's coming next. I don't care. I told y'all I was able to beat court because I've been in court. I ain't never told y'all that I ain't never did nothing, but I did tell you that experience is how I'm able to show you guys with a one hitter quitter how to wake up on a Friday with $4,200 in a bank account because you did a complaint on the CFPB. Like her, how she did it was genius, and I'm gonna let her tell y'all how she did it. So it's okay. Just keep scrolling by, let the haters hate, and we gonna keep dropping receipts and keep freeing people and keep it to move it. I ain't gonna stop, and it's sad because it's all me and that's coming at little old me. But let their egos reign. So on that note, you can go ahead, nephew, and let a few tell their testimonies how they're able to do it, because these are things that we're all dealing with from social services to the utility companies. These were all things that were able to be accomplished due to our class within our PATH family. And if one PATH family member win, we all win. And we're gonna not gatekeep and tell each other what we did extra. Because as I show you guys, I give you the foundation, but you're the blueprint. You take that foundation and you create your own blueprint that work for you. Because I'll tell you, if Capital One keeps seeing the same blueprint, they discard it. They act it's frivolous because now you're looking like a corporation. Okay, so never you can go ahead and call.
All right, Goddess P. We'll start with you again.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, I'm just gonna start so everyone else can go and we can get to class. So I pretty much started out making a list of all the companies I have accounts with. And I went down the list with calling. So Tamika said something to the class one day, and she said, I hope you're putting as much pressure on these companies as you do on me. And, you know, I already kind of had an idea of what that meant. It meant people were calling her, people were texting her, people were emailing her, people were doing like everything in the world. So I actually made a list of everything in the world. And I did that too. I took 3 companies first, prioritized them. And then I started out with calling, texting, chatting, emailing, basically contacting them in every possible way. And then kind of putting in there, hey, I've been trying to contact you for a while. I tried to send these letters to let you know, the billing errors, everything that you can possibly learn. And just a little backstory, real quick, or statement. Reading comprehension was not one of my best subjects, but I like to know things. So going forward, I went out to SNAP. I went out to the offices called Verizon, Spectrum. Spectrum was the first receipt that I'd sent in. And I pretty much started asking them questions. And basically I went out with the purpose of getting proof of all the fraud, because the contract is one thing. And any document really that they send you is proof of any claim that you can find as far as the codes go. So when you understand the codes, you understand where you can use that proof to prove your claim that they are committing fraud. So I started out with that. And, you know, when you go in, and I don't suggest going in all the time, but when you go in to ask them for your terms and conditions or your contract, it kind of like red flags them. I had an executive walk out of Spectrum. He just so happened to be on island, and I live in Hawaii, and I have 2 of my sisters are in this class as well, like blood sisters. So we kind of just let each other know that, you know, we tried going here, we tried going there, we tried calling here. And I'm not afraid to tell people you're wrong. And when you understand like where you're coming from, where you have the authority to say that, it gets a lot easier. You make the calls, you do the chats, and you actually start to remember the codes and what they mean to you. And it's easier to stand on the next time you talk to someone. So I actually just went into Verizon to go get a status update on my credit that I requested for $597.29. He couldn't give me any proof of it, but he said, oh, the credit should post in my next bill. So that was the first one that I worked on. Spectrum ended up closing my account. They paid off the balance. Before getting into a conversation with them, I had paid 1 month. I didn't know my bank. It's interesting because when Tamika gives us like a 2-week span to watch the video, it's really a push, like as if you could never get the information again. Throughout the year, a lot of things have been happening with my bank accounts. And right before I started this class last month, now I have to figure it out because things like child support, a whole bunch of things just started rolling in all in the same month. It's the reason why I'm moving. Like I have a purpose, and it's not just to go up against these people that are committing the fraud. It's because I need the services, I need them to all be available, and I need it now. And now I know why. I can tell them I need it now, like immediately and indefinitely. But it comes from knowing the codes that she was talking about, getting that foundation. Like I don't take no for an answer, and I will keep going until I get, okay, here you go, you can have this. But I think everybody's doing a great job. Keep going. I think that's the best I can do. Thank you, Tamika.
You are more than welcome, Goddess P. I am very proud of you. And the reason we do these testimonies, because I want y'all to hear from somebody besides me that it works. I want you to hear one of your family members telling you they started exactly where you started at. And as she said, she has a why and she has a purpose. and she didn't accept no for an answer, and she been winning, you know, and that's what I try to show you guys, that if you have the foundation, you can see it, you can understand it. Taking no is not going to be an option. No's is not options. Is okay, so who next? We're your supervisor. We're your supervisor until it is that you get what you want, because they want you to back off the first time that they say no. So Goddess P, I am very proud of you. Keep up the good work. You are doing amazing. You're not going to do nothing but get better. And as she told you, as she's constantly doing it, it become easy. That's what y'all hear from me, because I was getting no's. I told y'all I was y'all, but I didn't give up, you know, and I don't want any of you guys to give up, which is why I encourage you. You know, y'all get some people do these classes, they do a class, you'll never hear from them again. Y'all see, I'm in it, and you got it. Keep moving. Put no gas, all gas, no brakes, put your foot on their neck, you know, period. So who next? Go ahead, nephew.
All right, we're gonna do Trina.
Okay, I have two testimonies. One with the credit. I sat there, went to the library, looked up all the CFR codes for TransUnion. I was scared, to be honest. But I'm like, okay, let me put this together. So I submitted the complaint. It was at 3:02. I left the library, sat there I dropped my kids off at daycare. I made it that 9 o'clock. I did TransUnion, put it together, send out to CFPB. So 3:02, I submitted it. The next day, I was picking up my kids from daycare. Picked up my son, and we ran to the bus stop to go pick up my other two kids. I'm coming back. It was 7:02. I get an email. TransUnion just like pinging. It had went up 21 points. And a few hours later, it went up 28 points. That night, I got the courage to submit experience. So I changed up experience a little bit because I wanted to customize it to what was on my credit. My backstory was one of the testimonies. I spent $9,500. I paid $5,500 for him. What's his name? 500 program. He had other stuff in that, but his credit stuff just wasn't working for me. I spent $5,500 on that program. I spent $2,000 on somebody else to clean it, another $2,000 for a company. Nobody would clean it. Nobody could do anything with it. And literally, this class helped it. I spent exactly $9,500. That was the first testimony. So TANF, I had filled out and kept it at me. It was back in August. September, I did it again. So when I heard Tamika was saying submit the paperwork, you'll get the TANF, I was really discouraged because I'm like, they keep denying me. I'm from Chicago, but I moved to Lafayette, Indiana. So if anybody in Indiana, these white people gonna give you a pushback. They just not gonna give it to you. I went in because I had got the courage at this point, just to be honest, like, no, I got it. I went and I submitted my paperwork from Homeland Security. I told her I wanted to change my ethnicity with all the white women sitting at the desk. They laughed at me. I felt so small, but I knew I couldn't show it. She was like, what, you just change your ethnicity? I said, I know who I am now. So can you please change it to American Indian and white? It was like a pin drop, all the white women. So they took the paper, submitted it. This was weeks ago. I'm study calling. It's study saying black. I had to call Friday 6 times to get them to change the ethnicity. Then finally asked about the citizenship. But we can't change that because you agreed that you were a U.S. citizen back in September. I cried. I really did. I got so discouraged. I really did. I wanted to submit to Tamika, but something just kept saying don't, because she's gonna ignore you. Don't. And I kept thinking that, and I was like, okay, so why? I'm an empath, so I see spirit, feel energies heavy. And so I was like, it's something that my spirit knows that my physical body just can't see. So I sat and read the CFPB for TANF. I read all the fraud. And you have to put your kids on, your baby daddies on child support. That was another thing that I didn't want to sign. It was like, I don't want to me and my kid's father don't have a bad relationship. So I'm not going to create a friction. It's not them going into child support. It's you. You put them on child support, not them. They're forcing it to give you the tennis. I've seen that in one of the codes. They can't deny you. They can't deny you or accept you for it. So I'm like, okay. Then the 36 hours, you don't have to technically do that. You don't. For them to give it to you. And I was always under the impression TANF was for women that had kids. No, it's for everybody. It's even for couples that are married. If you're struggling, you both can get TANF, right? So I looked up the governors. I looked up where it said they would take money from the governor. So I submitted to the governor. See how you sent the message. I put JS 44 form, civil lawsuit. That's what I put in my subject. And I copied the pride and explained to them everything where they had went wrong. That was Saturday. And yeah, that was Saturday and Sunday, right? I called this man wife's cell phone. Yes, I did. I looked up the deputy security, I forgot his name, but he was basically where the governor put him in charge over the TANF. Monday, the manager calls me. He said, we can't take your city, but we can't take the citizenship off. And we can only go back just this month, but we'll approve you. You just need to submit all this stuff. I said, okay. 4/3, you have to just submit all this stuff for your kid's birth certificate. All of a sudden, all of the stuff keeps coming up missing. I said, okay. I had left, was late to go pick up my son. Was late to go pick up my son. I get a phone call this morning. No, I get an email, 4:30. Basically, the deputy assistant emailed me and asked me what was the issue. So I told her, it's fraud. Y'all not standing on what y'all supposed to. You're the Lafayette office in Indiana. So she called me this morning. She asked me what was the issue. I told her that I keep getting an TANF. It's not, I don't have to put my kid's father on child support based off the CFR codes that y'all agreed to. Well, let me back up. The manager was trying to tell me, okay, we can give it to you, but you have to put your kids on it. This was yesterday, Monday. So I told him, according to the CFR, I don't have to do that. Oh, let me put this code in to take it off. But you still have to do the 36 hours every week. I said, according to the CFR, I was reading the codes off that I wrote down. I don't have to do that. Oh, well, let me put the code in to take it off. So they were only going to approve me for that month. So going back to the deputy that was right under them, she told me, well, how did you submit it back in August for TANF, right? In June, I did a paper. They told me to do paper. She said, I can't authorize it, but I'm gonna authorize for TANF to push it through from June to now. So I get all that money. And before fast going back spiritually, there's more. Yesterday I was crying. I was crying, and I'm like, I'm in a tight situation. You know, I'm just trying to get myself in order. And spirits came around me, and I'm like, I see y'all here. You know, I just wish y'all physically feel y'all. And I swear, you know, whoever answers, stay strong. Because I know that wasn't it was a woman. She reached out and grabbed my hand. And I felt her skin when I said that. But I know it wasn't my family. I know it was such. And so that's what gave me the courage to just keep going. And I'm saying this to y'all, like, you have to understand CFRs for you. I did it for me and push. And my main thing was not pushing my kids there on child support. I don't have issues, so I'm not going to create an issue where there is none. And he is a good dad. So why punish him, you know, for being a good dad? And this is illegal. And literally, I told them it was a civil, I put that civil suit in there, and it made them move. They didn't want nothing, and especially when I let them know the CFR code will take money from the governor. Y'all will start losing the money y'all selling. So whatever y'all doing with somebody else, you know,
we can do to y'all.
Yeah.
And y'all see that, like, and stories like hers is why I can't stop. I will not give up on y'all as long as y'all don't give up on yourself. These people will try you. You see how they tried to say, oh, you got to do the 36 hours. She like CFR blue. He like, okay, here's a code. So these people know what we're supposed to get. But if you don't know, they not going to tell you. A template ain't going to give you that. Like she said, she didn't call me. She stood on what she knew at the foundation. So if y'all want to find those CFR codes, go look up the Food Stamp Act. Everything she just told you is true. No, you do not have to put your kid's father on child support. It's not going to stop anything. They do that to tear the families down. But I am so proud of her. Like, I know a lot of her story. And when I tell you that if dedication was a word, it's her. Because most people with what she's going through right now would have been like, I ain't got time to do it. I can't do it. I got to worry about this. But she understands that the moves that she made today is going to be setting up her children for later. And she stood on what she knew.
Even when I was doing my TransUnion, my daughter had COVID. She was in the hospital. She had the ventilators over her face. And honestly, she was screaming, but I was sitting there typing a letter. I need this. You know, I need this stuff. And it was like, I drown into what I'm dealing with, but I'm like, you know, I'm holding my baby, I'm bouncing. She's screaming because she couldn't breathe. But I was sitting there typing my letter. And the Homeland Security paper. That woman told me, it didn't even cross my mind, but she said, don't worry about your citizenship status because we got that November 1st. I had to look at the date on my paper. That's when they sent it to me.
Y'all see that? Remember I told you guys that when you do the FOIA search for your citizenship on a federal level, it hits all of the systems. Affidavits don't do that. They don't do that.
She said every system got your paper, so we changing it for you and your kids. This is what the woman told me. And I had to, she said, well, he got it on November 1st. I had forgot what date I did it. So I looked at my paper. I'm like, damn, she is not lying. This was November 1st. She said, when you got your paper, I got it. So we all got it.
So what happens is for you guys who have children, you're saying, what do I do about my children's status? If your children are up under the age of 18, think about us because our parents unknowingly said they were US citizens. That automatically made us one because that was our parent, right? And at the age of 18, that's when we were supposed to go do the age of majority. All y'all been with me for a minute know what that is, okay? So when you certify yourself in the system, whatever your citizenship states in their system, it goes for any of your children under the age of 18 and under. So as you're freeing yourself, you're freeing your child. So it's important for you to free yourself because we all know it's our babies that they're after. So now her babies are in the system properly. So guess what? When they turn 18, all they got to do is put their age of majority on the record. You know why? Because mama has now set up that inheritance that the word says that we're supposed to leave for our children and our children's children. And then she made sure she didn't tie her kid's father up in the system, which will be a hindrance to him by standing on her foundation that she read based off of the class. And that's the most important thing ever. You take the information I give you and you go deeper. So for some of y'all that's emailing me, like she said, I know she was going to ignore me. One of them I actually did answer for her because I know that she's trying. If I know that you're trying, that means that you didn't make me your first choice after you watched the video a half of a time and you're like, oh, I got a question. Yeah, I'm going to ignore you because guess what? She couldn't call me while she was at DHS. Goddess P couldn't call me when she was at Verizon or Charter Communications. She had to stand on what she knew. Not, hold on, let me call Tamika because Tamika not going to answer anyway. Okay, who next?
All right, Alyssa.
Hello. Okay, so, and I'm in the other class. I sent you an email, but you probably didn't read it because I know you got lots of stories. But so after listening to Trina, my story, it pales in comparison. I mean, that was very moving. It's a beautiful story. But so I was able to get my student loans removed from my credit reports. And little backstory, after I graduated college, I moved. I had like 50K in student loans, about that much, and that was the original amount. And so I don't know, they sent some kind of forms, they send all these forms and stuff when you graduate and all this stuff you got to fill out and all that stuff. And since I had moved, I missed the form and I didn't know this. So I moved and then I moved again. And when I moved again, I was in California and I got this call at my house and it's from this lady. I'll never forget that phone call. She was very rude, very mean, very abrasive. And she was from the Department of Education and she threatened me. She said I was going to be in default on my student loan. They were going to garnish my wages. They were going to garnish my bank account. She had all my information. Now, they knew where I was this whole time. I mean, they could have called me the first time I moved, but they never did. They just decided they wanted me to go into default. So she threatened me and said the only thing I could do is I could pay off the entire student loan at that time, or I could go into default. And I knew what they were doing was wrong. It didn't feel right, but I didn't know all of this then. I didn't know all of these laws. So I said, okay, I'll file default. So they sent the letter and I had to fill out the paperwork begrudgingly. And then, so there's an automatic 40% penalty when you go into default on student loans. So my 50K loans went to 90K. And then it was accruing interest ever since for like 20 years now. And it's like 252,000 basically that's being reported on my credit report. And they're in good standing because I was able to get it in forbearance and just kind of able to just get away from paying them because I just didn't want to pay them because it was the payment was like $2,200 a month or something, which outrageous. So yeah, it's been on my report all this time. And so yes, I was finally able to get it off. I used FERPA, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act of 1974. I filed a FTC report for fraud, like you said in the beneficiary style, clean your credit beneficiary style, 16 CFR 6805B, I use that. And the willful non-compliance, I use that. And I think that's about it. But yeah, I used all those codes and I did complain to the CFPB. I did get the response from the original because they sold the loan now like 3 times. And so now the current holder of the loan is Nelnet. They actually sent me a letter saying that they weren't going to remove it from my credit report, that, we're all required to pay our financial obligations, blah, blah, blah. So I did feel a little bit discouraged, but I mean, literally, it was just yesterday that the reports just came back and they said, they're taking off. They says all been deleted from my credit report and I checked and it's deleted. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Beautiful. There it is.
I'll send you the copies.
Please
I
do
will.
so, and because there will be a point within the class, especially with student loans, you get them removed. That
Yes.
student forgiveness, guys, that amount that they forgive actually is a check for you. Whatever the amount their student loans were, you are supposed to receive back in a check. So as the series go on, I will tell you guys how to be able to structure the documentation properly. The first thing is getting a proof of claim. So she has her proof of claim because they removed it based off of the complaint that she made, and she were using the consumer laws to do that. Okay, so because of that, she will be able to use those same consumer laws to go back and get the funds that they say you owe them. Because remember, everything they say you owe them, they technically owe us. Okay. All right. Who next, Matthew?
Amy.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, family. So I did have a victory with Verizon as well. I think it was a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, they cut my phone off for non-payment. And so every time I called into them, I was referred to financial services, who is actually not the people who I needed to speak to in order to, tell them, the codes and stuff to get my phone back on. So I started with them and asked to speak to a series of supervisors. And I was told that I would need to speak to, well, first I called into, customer service and gave them the codes and stuff. And they're like, well, we need you to speak to financial services. So then they told me to speak to them, told them the exact same stuff. I was using, the 16 CFR 1026.13 and 15 USC 1666. And, just basically telling them that I
Hold on one second,
had,
Amy.
Yeah.
I see y'all sitting there watching. I would have been writing them codes down. She telling you exactly how she getting out of Verizon, and every last one of us got a cell phone glued to us. Okay. So I'm sorry for interrupting you, but I was just seeing people just shaking their head. Shake that ink on that paper and write them codes down that she
exactly.
just said. Okay, y'all. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Exactly. No, you're fine. And then I also, told them about the Privacy Act and all of that stuff, how I didn't want them to report any of this information to anybody, even though they don't report to credit bureaus. I know that they're still reporting agencies that they report to. And then, like I was going back to the original thing that I was saying, I spoke with a series of supervisors until I got connected with financial services, and the gentleman that I was speaking to, I quoted to him the codes and everything all over again. And I was like, I would like for you to turn my phone back on, because the way that I see it, and according to, 16 CFR 1026.13, I think it's D 1 through 3. You guys are not supposed to take any adverse action against me or my account by asking me to pay any amount or by cutting off my service. And then I also found another code. Let me see, what was it? It was like 47 USC. It was saying something about a pay per call service that no cell phone company is supposed to turn off your service for any reason at all. I have it written down in my notebook somewhere, but anyway, I quoted all these things to them because I was researching, before I did it, and I was really nervous, but I did it anyway. And then I got disconnected with the financial services guy. He was like, if we get disconnected, I'll call you right back. And of course, my phone was off, so I wasn't able to call him back, and he did not call me back. So I was out of town at the time, so I didn't want to be out of town without a phone. So I immediately left where I was at and decided that I was going to go somewhere where I could, get some internet so that I could give them a call back via Wi-Fi. Like, I could do Wi-Fi calling. So where I pulled over, I was going to pull over at a Starbucks. I'm sorry, I'm trying to make this story short. I was trying to pull over at a Starbucks so I could use their Wi-Fi. But when I drove down the road to where the Starbucks was, I saw that there was a Verizon store. I was like, I'm just going to go in here and talk to these people and see if they'll turn my phone back on. And so I went in the Verizon store, and the guy there was so nice. He was super nice. And he was like, he couldn't get into my account for some reason. He was like, I can't get into your account, so I can't turn your service back on. But I do see the notes here. So maybe if you go to corporate is right down the road. I don't know it was like a miracle that corporate was like right down the road, because I was like, there's no way that in any other instance this would have happened. So corporate was right down the road. And he was like, if you go to corporate, they can help you out. And I was like, okay. So I drove down the road, like literally 2 miles down the road to corporate. And I went to I asked for the supervisor, and I, was telling him about my billing error and telling him about how Verizon had cut off my service and I would like my service reconnected immediately. And he was like, well, there's not really anything I can do unless you talk to financial services. Because I told him all the stuff that I was looking for. I was like, I want documentary evidence of, the fact that I even owe a debt on this account. And he was like, well, there's not really anything I can do. Let's put you in touch with, financial services. So they somehow got financial services back on my phone again. I think I had to be on Wi-Fi or something. And so I spoke to somebody there, and they're like, well, we need you to speak. They kept giving me the runaround basically. And they finally sent me to somebody in the billing department. And I remember this lady, she was super sweet at first. And then once I started quoting laws and I started, you know, telling her what was going on, she got kind of testy with me and she was like, well, ma'am, we're not trying to hide anything from you. We're not trying to do anything fraudulent. Like, you know, she was standing up for Verizon and stuff. And I was like, okay, well, can you send me my original contract in its original form? And she was like, yeah, I'm going to send you I'm going to send you your contract, and all of, you know, your paperwork is on your account. All you have to do is log into your account and you can access it. And then she sent me this, okay, so I've been with Verizon since probably 2007 or some time way back in the past, right? And she sent me this contract that was from 2021 or something like that, that had my signature on it. And I was like, ma'am, if you send me something via email, that's not the original document. Do you understand that? And she was like, okay. And so I kept quoting the laws, and I kept telling her, you know, that they were not allowed to turn off my service. So she put me on hold. I swear I was on hold for like 30 minutes to an hour. It was a really long time that I was on hold. She came back and checked on me like one time and was like that, and was telling me that she was talking with some billing supervisor. And then when she came back on the phone, like the very last time, she was super nice. Like her voice was back to where it was when we first started talking. She was super sweet. And she was like, ma'am, we're going to turn your phone back on. I just want you to know that all you have to do is turn it off and then turn it back on, and all your service will be restored, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I want to make sure that this is going to happen. So obviously I can't keep you on the phone, but is there a way that you can call me back once I turn my phone off and turn it back on? So that's exactly what happened. I turned my phone off, turned it back on. My service was restored. And since then, they have sent me bills, you know, like they send you those emails that's like, you still owe this amount, or they'll send me text messages. And so I called them and I was like, you guys are not supposed to be soliciting payment from me because I'm in billing error status. So please stop sending me these notifications that I owe you money. And they have since sent me like one more communication. So I probably have to call them back and, you know, get on them again.
Not to cut you off. So
yeah, go ahead.
It is a beautiful thing that you're able to do that in person and over the phone, okay? But the law says it has to be done in writing. So this is why you're still getting the notifications that you are getting. So this will be a temporary fix. And if you want it to be long-term. Now, if you physically pull your contract with Verizon, 16 CFR 433.1, 2, and 3 is on your contract, where it says any holder of this credit contract can insert their rights. So you asserted your rights, but it needs to be done in writing. Verizon also has an arbitration clause within their contract. So you're going to have to take that to arbitration. Verizon also have an area on their website where you can submit the complaint in which it is that you just did via online, because you want to keep a paper trail of documentation when you're doing this, to make sure that you get your full remedy. Like, yeah, they did it for now. They like, we're going to just shut her up and then they're going to be right back at it, which is why they're sending you the automated system notifications, because it is via the automated system. So the system does not know, but they need to put your account in full status. But that goes back to doing it in the way that they told you. And they told you exactly how to do it via your contract. Is even on their website. If you go up under their terms and conditions, all the way down the bottom, it talks about the arbitration. See, now once you throw it into arbitration, which we'll be going over the 4 steps to arbitration next class, then now you're in that do not pay, do not collect, can't send you no email, can't talk to you, can't nothing. That is where you're going to get your remedy with Verizon. It's going to be through arbitration, because you already have the foundation of the laws. So once you put those laws on paper via arbitration, because arbitration is going towards the arbitrary board, and arbitration is strictly contract law. So if you know contract law, you'll win your arbitration. The contract clearly states that you, the holder of the contract, you have it. that you can assert your rights. So at that point, what are your rights? And you know those. So you put all of that within the arbitration, get the arbitration started, that automatically then the 1666B billing error, which we'll be going over tonight, then that will take effect 100%. And then you don't have to worry about your services being cut off, or you constantly keep talking to different customer service reps, because as soon as they read the notes on your account, they're gonna keep shifting you. And you also have to remember the rule is, everybody, y'all hear this, a corporation cannot speak. All they know is white paper, black ink. She was still talking to a regular person that was only doing what it is that they were taught, but you have to take it a step further. You have to keep your foot on their neck until you have the full remedy that, and then at that point, that's when you ask for what you want. Okay, like you said, you signed an original contract in 2017. They sent you one in 2021. That's the Electronic Funds Transfer Act. If I was you guys, I would go pull the Electronic Funds Transfer Act. It got a lot more to do than direct deposits going from one account to another, because that's why they went digital with everything when it comes to our signatures. So then they're taking our signatures because they are electronic through DocuSign and things of that magnitude, and then they're putting them on other documents. Because don't forget, if you've been with them since 2017, after 3 years is when your securities, those dividends that you thought are payments, are considered abandoned. Right? So every 3 years, they're going to have to give you a new contract. Why you think they come out with a phone every single year? So you can keep re-signing a contract, so they don't have to fall into that 3-year abandonment rule. Like, it's real slick how they do stuff, but everything with these people all tie in together. But rule of thumb, corporation cannot speak. All they know is white paper, black ink. Even if you can get them to do something over the phone, in her case, she was out of town, she needed her phone, I would have did the same thing. Everything energy-wise lined up for her from the corporate stove, because you normally don't get it just like that. So it was meant for her to do that. It was also meant to show her the power in which it is that she had. Everybody you heard with the testimony first said that they were scared, right? That's that fear that they try to put into us. Like I tell you, it's a spiritual thing as well as a natural process in which it is that we're going to, because we are asserting the rights in which it is that the Creator gave us. But every win that you get, you're getting stronger. Ain't that right, Goddess P? Every win that she didn't got stronger and stronger and bold. And she got my same slogan. I don't take no's for answers. Didn't even as a kid. What is a no? No what? In a minute? Oh, okay. But no, never. No, we don't do no nevers. It's always a way around something, but good job. You did that, but keep your foot on it. As soon as you take your foot off their neck, then you're going to be starting back at square one. So knock them off at the head. If I was you in the process of doing the arbitration, I would definitely look up to see who their indentured trustee and their trustee is. And I would definitely put that within the arbitration.
I already have that.
How you know that they're transferring your securities and blah, 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 and they're in violation of the security exchange. And because see, the CFPB complaints, they'll kind of roll with those. Because if you notice, depending on who you are putting your complaint against, the CFPB will take your complaint and send it to the comp controller or things of that magnitude, which is why I like to use them, because they're going to get it to everybody that may need to have it on a government level, and they'll pay attention to it a lot quicker than you just sending it to them. Okay, so if you guys are doing something financial and you get a letter from the comp controller, please open it up, because the CFPB says that your complaint is their scope, but it needs to go a little bit higher. So they'll send a complaint to the FTC and the CFPB, the comp controller. Where do you think they come up with class action lawsuits? That come from so many consumers making complaints on their website that it build up to a certain number, and then they go after them. But unfortunately, it only really benefits them, because they're getting all of the money, and then you get a little check for like 2 cents, because everybody and their mama that went in on a class action. Okay, so there are some more testimonies, but I will have to call y'all another day because I want to get this class started. I do understand it is a weekday, right? I don't keep up with day dates, but it's a weekday. So I am proud of every last one of you who did it. I don't know where she is, but the $4,200 that got deposited, okay? All I can tell you is that she put a CFPB complaint in on a company. where they ask you, what do you want? When I tell y'all, y'all got these people by the balls, put everything you want, okay? Everything. Amy, go after Verizon, tell them that every time a new phone come out, you better get it. Tell them everything that you want, tell them then, because you have them. They're going to do it. I promise you guys. So in her case, she did the CFPB complaints with her particular companies. She set up this bank account only for her remedies only. Nothing else goes to this bank account. She woke up on Friday with $4,200. In the CFPB complaint at the bottom, when it asks her what the hell does she want, she told them to pay her, and she put her routing and account number on the freaking report. And bam, bam, she woke up with $4,200 in her bank account. Very smart. That is what I say, that you're the blueprint. Foundation come for me, blueprint come for you. I bet you this, I bet you I would have did it too like that. I was smart. Electronics Fund Transfer Act, look it up. Because you have to remember, those AKA bills, statements that they're sending you every month as a dividend payment, they are supposed to electronically put that money into your account, which is why I keep saying, why are you going to the bank talking about a remittance transfer? That's just a statement to show you how much money they owe you. That's it. And why you think they ask you to give your routing and account number on there for them to deposit that amount into your account. But they do everything electronically now, including our signatures. Why you think it's barely paper for anything? Even when you go to the doctor now, it's electronic check-in. Everything gets damn electronic. Why? The Electronic Fund Transfer Act. Please look it up. Please look it up. Please look it up. When you're dealing with the phone companies, you don't just have the consumer laws and the Electronic Funds Transfer Act. You also have the FCC. They are the ones who control the communication. You all also have the Telephone Act. I can guarantee you where she told you it says they can't cut your phone off or nothing is in the Telephone Act. And Siri, real smart, you could just ask her that. She'll probably tell you which law it is if you can't find it. You have to use unconventional means in order to get what it is that you want through this process. Because of course they do not make it easy, but you can make it easier if you have the foundation to stand on where they know that you're not going to give up. You're not going to take no for an answer. And you threw in, like God is peace say, y'all signed this, and they did. You didn't hear her say she used the United States Code. She used the CFR. Why? Because it was coded in the Federal Register by the president. The president, the president, the president. The code is to back up the law. How you know the law wasn't repealed while you speaking the code? Do you know the full contents of the code? You're only going to get the full contents of the codes if you read the actual law. Okay, so for you guys that just joined within the last, since Friday, I did send you guys, I have to send you guys the recording of the last class at the end of November, which is the first part of the do not pay, do not collect status, okay? I do not just show you one way in order to get to the end of the road. There are several things that you can do, depending on the company, depending on the contract. One thing may not work for that, like a billing error. You wouldn't do a billing error for a retention of a car. Okay, you have to know when to use what law and what remedy, depending on what corporation you're going after. So right now, tonight, we're talking about utility bills. We're talking about credit cards, okay? We're talking about things that are open-ended credit, things that they are only supposed to charge a interest charge, maybe occasionally, sometimes, not every month, as they say. So we'll be going over what is a billing error on this evening. Okay. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna share my screen with you guys.
We can see the screen.
All right, y'all. I have muted myself and made the screen small. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no. Don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. I almost canceled y'all. Okay. All right. So we're talking about a belly error. Hey, I'm in his class. Bye-bye. Thank you. I'm sorry, y'all. My kids, oh, you look very gorgeous. Okay. So we're talking about a belly error, which would be 15 USC 1666. Starting there. So when you guys are on Cornell Law, if you see this is lit up, please keep going until you get to the end. That means that there's more there. Please don't just read one line and be like, oop, I got it, let me call them. Don't do that. Please don't do that. It's not foundation, okay? If anybody got a bill, credit card bill, out, then I'm gonna show you something that is on your bill that is going to assist you in getting your bill in the proper billing error status, will get you in the do not collect, do not pay, do not disconnect status, because that's ultimately what it does while you're going through the arbitration. All right. So it says if a creditor. So anytime you see anything blue on here, please click it. Okay. Caleb, can y'all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, it's so quiet here. I forgot we got everybody. It's like, whoa. I like that though. Okay, y'all. So look, I know y'all keep hearing y'all the creditor, y'all the creditor, y'all the creditor. So let's see, are you really the creditor? So in this chapter, not any other chapter we're talking about in billing error. That's another thing you guys have to realize, that what creditor mean in this chapter could mean something totally different in 1680. Just throwing a number out there. So you always have to understand what role you're playing depending on what contract or what remedy in which it is that you are attempting to seek. Okay. So in billing error, the creditor refers to a person who both regularly extends, whether in connection with loans, sale of property or services, or otherwise consumer credit, which is payable by agreement and more than 4 installments. Then it says, the person to whom the debt arising from the consumer credit transaction is initially payable on the face of the evidence of indebtedness. So are you the creditor? And you got to look at this word, both. Now, if it said and or, then it could have been either one or two, but it said both. And the last time I checked, ain't none of us extended no consumer credit for no sale of property or services or any of that. So no, you are not considered the creditor. And something I always ask everybody is, if the United States is responsible for all the debt per se, why you don't want to be the debtor when it comes to consumer credit contracts? If your contract states under 16 CFR 433.2, I'm sorry, 0.1, that, no, I'm sorry, it is 0.2, that any
Point two
holder
is where
of this
it says
consumer
any holder
credit,
of the contract.
there you go. The debtor can assert their rights. Why you want to keep calling yourself the creditor? So that's when y'all sending them these affidavits talking about you're the creditor or whatever the case may be, they laughing at you. And they're going to give you issues because they know that you don't know it all the way. You are not the creditor in those transactions, okay? So if within 60 days have transmitted to an obligor, you are the obligor, okay? The statement of the obligor's account in connection with the extension of the consumer credit received at the address disclosed. So if anybody got a bill, nephew, find me somebody that got a bill that has that statement on the back of it. It's probably gonna be somebody from the last class that talks about the billing error on the back of their bill, where it tells them where they can actually send it.
I am looking right now. If anybody has a bill, could you show us real fast?
And Tara Hines has her hand up. Tara, you have one?
Okay, let's see.
Yes, I do. I
Oh.
got all my bills right here.
I know that's right. What does it say on the back of your bill?
On the back of, I actually highlighted it too. It says
Perfect.
what to do if you think you find a mistake. If you think there is an error on your statement, write to us at Discover, and they got a P.O. box address, and or subject for providing. They got a website address. You must contact us within 60 days after the error appeared on your statement. You may call us, but if you do, we are not required to investigate.
Boom. Hold, stop right there. Stop right there for me. So y'all just heard me tell Amy that it was good she called. It was good she went in. But you heard them say that if you call us, we are not obligated to investigate. Okay, keep going, Tyler.
Any potential errors, and you may have to pay the amount in question. The billing rights notice further explains your rights. Please see your card members agreement or visit the website for a copy of this notice. That's it.
Boom. They told her exactly where to send it. It's on the back of your bills, guys. It's on every credit card statement. They have to put it on your bill. Some of the bills is worded word for word of what the law says. So what is considered a billing error? Let's look at it. So I know one of the questions while I'm looking at this that people ask is, it says the 60 days. Well, you get a bill every 4 weeks. So you can start it off with the last 60 days. And then when you head through arbitration, is that when you will put all of the amounts starting from the time that you open the account within itself. Okay. Is it very comfortable? I want to show you guys what their meaning of account is. Okay, so the meaning of account is a written list of transactions noting money owed and money paid. A detailed statement of mutual demands arising out of a contract or a fiduciary relationship. So let's go back. A written list of transactions. Look at the top of your bill. Anybody that got your light bill, your gas bill, a credit card bill, what is the top part of your bill? This details. A list of your what? Transaction, your usage history. How much did you spend, right? So at the top, they say you have an account number. They always say, what is your account number? What is your account number, right? So the meaning of account is a written list of transactions. So the top part is noting money owed. That is what the top part, money owed. And the bottom part is the money paid. The fiduciary relationship came when you signed the consumer credit contract. So in the banking world, account means a written list of transactions noting money owed and money paid, which goes back to me stating that you have to learn their terminology and the meaning of their words depending on who you're dealing with. And every corporation have a different meaning for their words. So I would definitely want to know, you would definitely want to get yourself abreast in what the banking definition of account is. as well as statement, because nowhere on any of those documents that they're calling the bill that you're looking at, nothing on there says bill. Can somebody, if anybody can show me or read one of your bills and tell me, does it say bill on there anywhere? It says statement, because only the president can write a bill. Only the president can write a bill. It's a statement. It's a statement of transactions of money owed and money sent out, and which goes back to the Electronic Funds Transfer Act. Because if that is a statement of money that they owed you, and then the bottom part, which is the dividend check, that is money they say they paid out, you saying, well, where's the money at? It was transmitted via the Electronic Funds Transfer Act, which is why they wanted everybody to go paperless. Also because they were committing mail fraud under 31 USC 3123. Because every statement is supposed to say on the front of it that this is a solicitation and that you're not obligated to contract, which is why they're all committing mail fraud. Okay. So under the billing error, it consists of any of the following: a reflection on the statement of an extension of credit, which was not made to the obligor or made was not in the amount reflected on such statement. A reflection on the statement of the extension of credit for which the obligor requests additional clarification, including documentary evidence thereof. So if you notice, one of the things Amy said that she did was she asked them for documentary evidence. So asking them for documentary evidence automatically throws your account into a billing error status, which ultimately throws your account in a do not pay, do not collect status. Okay. So if y'all want to stop your bills, absolutely, positively, immediately, throw it in a billing error status. But make sure that you quote the proper laws. Make sure, for those of you guys who have been with me, make sure that you find out who their trustee is and you let them know that you know that they are trading your account via the security exchange through their trustee, and name who their trustee is. I get real bold with them. I tell them who it is, what their address is. I want them to know, ain't no throw the rock, hide the hand. It's throw the rock, wave your hand. I did it. And I've asked them on to it before. You see how she said that she actually called the cell phone. I told y'all there is a website that can give you all of their information. I called, and it so happened everybody getting Verizon, because I believe it was Verizon, and called the house, and he got really upset. No, it was T-Mobile, I'm sorry, on my end. Because these people information is all public information. Okay. So you're gonna throw it in the billing error status. Now, in the process of you throwing this in the billing error, if you have an issue with your credit and you need it fixed, one of the things when it comes to open-ended accounts like credit cards, they are not supposed to report any late payments at all to your credit report. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay. Once you send them a letter, a notice from 66(6)(a), which is the billing error, they may not directly or indirectly threaten to report any person adversely to your credit report at all. Not one bit. Okay. Nephew, you got something you want to say about that?
So yeah, when it comes to that, once you send them a notice, and it tells you again under section 1666A of the title that they cannot put you into, they can't take, but this adverse action, it doesn't just go to your credit report, it goes to them trying to, so say you have a car and they are trying to repossess the car, they're not allowed to do that while you're in that status as well. They're not allowed to do any adverse action to you, and they can't threaten you with any adverse action. They can't report any late payments until the resolution of the billing error. So if they do that, then they're violating you again.
Perfect. And when you are putting your complaint together for your billing error, you want to make sure that you add 6066B, the timing of payments. Okay, this is how you're going to get your money back. Right here, time to make the payment. A creditor may not treat a payment on a credit card under any open-end credit plan late for any purpose. I'm sorry. So that is when, that's the law that you can use if you currently have any late payments for any credit card right now. You will use this law right here, 6066B.
And remember
And
what
I
it
make
said, that an open-ended consumer credit plan is one that consists of more than 4 installment payments. So if you have more than 4 payments, that is an open-ended consumer credit plan. So it's not just for credit cards, it's, you know, just for everything. Just to clarify.
Correct. And if can you do this one for me? I need to go to the course.
Okay. So the prompt and fair crediting of payments. Payments received from the obligor under an open-ended consumer credit plan by the creditor shall be posted promptly to your account. So as soon as you are, anytime there is a payment received for you or on your behalf, they're supposed to credit your account immediately, right? But they don't do this, and this is why it contributes to a billing error, because what they're supposed to do is issue it to you immediately, but they're not doing that. So that's another error. So they're literally violating every single provision of this title, A, B, and C. So you can hit them when you're including that you're hitting them for a billing error. You want to list, okay, well, what provisions exactly, what parts of this act did they violate? So you want to list A, you want to list B, you want to list C, and you want to be able to explain why they are violating that title and how they are violating that title.
Correct. So anytime your account has a balance in excess of $1, $1. So now, you know, when you owe someone, it'll be negative. That dividend check that you guys keep calling remittance payments and remittance coupons, it is a dividend check, okay? It is in excess of $1. They are supposed to immediately transmit the funds to you into your account. Tara?
This thing will on mute. Hello?
You're on mute now.
Okay. I just got one question, because what he just read, I had paid my PenFed credit card bill and the whole thing, and they did not report it to the credit bureau. They held it for 2 weeks and reported that my card was late, but I had paid the whole balance and it wasn't late. So that's a billing error too, right?
Yes, that is a billing error. Exactly.
Absolutely. And then if you want to get it updated through the credit bureaus itself, you will lose the law that we just showed.
Under 1666B.
Right here,
Oh
where it says a creditor may not treat a payment on a credit card account under an open-ended consumer credit plan late for any purpose. You guys want to get your utilization down to 0. This is how you get it to 0. If you think about it, your utilization is more than 35% of your credit score. And for you guys that know from my class, if you are new here, you cannot operate in the private without operating in the public. You have to be able to do both. You want to be able to go and sit down with a 700 credit score, go get whatever car you want, whatever house you want, go get it, because possession is 9/10 of the law. I'm trying to tell y'all the easy way to get what you got to get. Okay, go get it. Be able to sit down with these people. They have to commit the fraud in order for you to claim fraud. How are they gonna commit the fraud if you go in there, you gotta take my 1099. Yeah, you gonna take your 1099 as right out their door because it's not working. Okay, I'm telling y'all it don't work that way. But I'm telling you it worked this way. Y'all heard the testimonies for yourself. You gotta be able to know how to operate in both. So you get your credit fixed. How? Immediately, expeditiously, in the words of T.I. Everyone who has fixed their credit that has taken this class has not sent one letter. They are literally doing it over the phone. Before, where they'll tell you, oh, we can't take anything off your credit report. Yeah, they can, and they can do it immediately. Just like they were able to put in a code and take off that she don't have to meet the requirements of putting her kid's father information down. They can do what they want to do, but you have the right to make them do it because you are the consumer. You know, they have done a very good job of making us think that we the low man on the totem pole and we got to listen to them. No, 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 no. It is the other way around. And when you have that foundation to stand on your rights, then you are able to assert your rights. So you want your utilization to move down to 0 and get your credit score 25 point and above, depending on your credit profile, use this law. They cannot, under any circumstances, for any purpose. Why do you think they created this law? They created the law because all things are paid for. So why wouldn't they create it? They already know what it is. Okay. I don't know where this little line came from, but I don't like that. Hold on, y'all. Okay. I see a hand, Michael. Michael.
There we go.
I can hear you. Go ahead. Speak now, forever hold your peace. Going once. Going twice. Andrew.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Perfect, thank you. Just a second ago, when you were talking about the billing error, you said something that I can't remember. You said ask for the adverse or something of that nature. You said ask for something. I don't remember what you said though.
I said a lot of things. Can you be just a little bit more
we were
direct?
We were talking about the billing error status, how to
Correct.
Get it into that status, and the lady before you that was talking, she said she asked for something. I cannot remember. It was you. You said it. You said it too.
I said a lot of stuff. I can't honestly tell you exactly. But the key into getting it into billing error status is putting it in the billing error status. Read the back of the bill, depending on the corporation you're dealing with. If it's a phone company, if it's your utility company, if it's your credit card company, the law is on the back of your bill. It tells you how to get a billing error established, to get it started. And if you have a credit balance over $1 and they have not credited your account via an electronic funds transfer, that's a billing error. The fact that it's a consumer credit contract and there ain't no money, that's a billing error.
That's in the 15 U.S. Code 1666C, right?
No, it starts at 1666. You need to start there and go all the way to the end of it.
Read all of that, right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Lisa.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, how you all doing? Peace, family. So I had a question, Tamika. So earlier today, I was on the phone with Navy Federal, and I was asking some questions about my credit card bill or statement. And then I was also trying to find out some information about the securitization department. And what the representative told me, she said that we are not allowed to transfer you to that department if we don't have detailed information as to why you're trying to access that department. And so I kind of felt a little intimidated because I didn't really know the exact verbiage to use as to why I was trying to get to that department. So I know that I need to do a little bit more studying, but I really didn't understand why it was she just couldn't transfer me without, you know what I'm saying, have to go into detail with her if I'm not speaking to that representative.
when you understand the power and a security, then you'll understand why they don't want to transfer you.
Okay, right. She was telling me that the only reason,
And
well,
you,
one of the two reasons,
and
I'm sorry.
you wasn't even able to tell her why you needed to be transferred. I wouldn't have transferred you either.
Right, okay. So she was telling me that it would either have to be for a security reason or fraud. So in hearing you state the billing error or the 1666, I will be thinking that due to the fact that they're exchanging my securities without my express permission, that would be the fraud as why.
You actually did give them permission. Read your contract.
I guarantee you gave him permission.
Everything that they're doing, you guys gave them permission to do it. Pull your car contract and go to the security page. I'll show y'all next week when we actually go through an entire contract. But everything that they're doing, you signed for them to do. So you might want to start with the physical contract that you signed first. But I wouldn't attempt, if you don't want your accounts closed down, you don't call asking for the security department and don't know what to say. See, I would know what to say to them to do it over the phone. But once again, even with the knowledge in which it is that I have, unless I have an immediate issue with the bank that I need them to solve right then, I don't do anything over the phone with them. They're a corporation, it's white paper, black ink, period. They are trained to say no. They're not going to send you to the securitization department because you're not even supposed to know they got a securitization department. But if you are going to get in contact or attempt to get in contact with someone in the securitization department, I will make sure that my foundation is so tight that I would have got transferred.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Understood. Thank you so much for that.
And I would like to add also, if you're trying to get in contact or do anything, make any of these companies comply, do it on paper, because if you don't, you have no proof of your claims. And the
Right.
thing is, they will try to play dumb and dodge and run around like they have nobody's business. So what you have to understand is that unless you do it right, you need to keep proof for yourself.
And then more
That's the
important,
only way.
yeah, y'all just heard, I don't know who that was. I forgot who that was just reading on her bill. It literally says on the bill, and it's on every last one of you guys' bill, that if you call them and you do it verbally, that they are not obligated to respond to you. They're not. I don't know why y'all trying to go over their rules. You cannot. It is not about trying to go over their rules. It's about learning their rules and utilizing their rules to give you the advantage. Because at the point that you know that their policies is all in favor of you when you learn them. And then when you learn them, you can stand on them. It's just as simple as that. All this trying to go over them and then the regurgitation of words because it sounds good, or because, okay, well, I know that this is a security and I'm going to add. Let me tell y'all, don't do it. Because what's going to end up happening is that you're going to get denied. And then when you get denied, then you start feeling, oh, it doesn't work or it's not worth it. And then you're going to give up. Stop putting yourself out there until you know you're ready to be out there for real. Like, I'm trying to help y'all. Seriously, slow down, first of all. Slow down, get to the small stuff. Trying to get to the securitization department, that is the private side of the bank. And that's the private side of the bank. They not letting you over there. But I can tell you, if you're looking for at Navy Federal, it is a man. It's a black man. And he can easily be found on LinkedIn. I keep telling y'all that, but I don't know. So when it comes to a billing error, it's just as simple as that. They tell you what to do. Go pull your contracts. Go pull your bills. Go on their website. Go pull the terms and conditions on their website and start reading them. It'll tell you that if you have to do arbitration, because every cell phone company makes you sign a consumer credit contract. Guess what? They have an arbitration clause within there. Your bank has an arbitration clause, terms and conditions, there's arbitration. So you can't bypass what the rules are. You just have to know how to play the rules. That's it. Learn how to play them. So just simply, my butterfly, I haven't seen her. She might be further down the screen because I don't have everyone on the screen. But she did, after the last class that did not get recorded, she immediately got on her light company, threw it in the billing error status, boom. She's not responsible for a payment. And when she does, she's not going to continue to, she'll get all her money back. But now that's one less bill or statement that she has over her head, thinking that she has to pay because the lights, gas, and water is a necessity. I don't care how many of these classes that y'all get. Until you get it, you're gonna pay them light, gas, and water, ain't you? You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody trying to be in the damn dark, and ain't nobody trying to, oh my God, I gotta use my neighbor's water hose. That's not how that goes. But if you know for a fact that you have confirmation that your utilities, you also got your utility commission. Y'all not reading your bills. Your public utilities commission will also help you put your bills in a billing error status because they are the ones that are ultimately responsible for the distributing of the utility services. They even tell you that if you're about to be shut off, you can call the utility commission so that your services will stay on. I know social media will make you think, oh, it takes so much to get yourself in a billing error. No, it does not. It takes exactly what we just showed you. Okay. When it comes to y'all credit report, let me show y'all something real quick. Hold on, let me find it. Here we go. Okay. So we were just looking at 1666B, right? Billing error status. So remember, I just showed you guys that all United States code, there's just a code and you have a CFR that goes with it. So if you scroll down to the bottom of that page, you'll see that this particular law was at the very bottom of that page. You see it says consumer credit protection, but it's mighty funny that this is the Social Security office, right? A compilation of Social Security laws, but now we're talking about consumer credit though, which goes back to the credit card of our Social Security number. But let's go down. It gets to talking about 1681A. You guys hear a lot of people talk about 1681 and what a consumer reporting agency does. But let me tell you about the importance of why I always say go pull the CFR, because the USC was just like a summary. It wasn't the exact law, okay? So the term consumer reporting agencies mean any person which for monetary fees, dues, or cooperative non-profit basis regularly engages in whole or part in the practice of assembling or evaluating consumer credit information or other information on consumers for the purpose of furnishing consumer reports to third parties, and which uses any means or facilities of interstate commerce for the purpose of preparing or furnishing consumer reports, right? So y'all would think third party is Capital One, Discover, AT&T, Mercedes-Benz. Nope. So y'all didn't hear everybody talk about 1681, right? But did y'all know that 1681 really means that unless it is a head of a state or a local child support enforcement agency or a government official authorized by the head of such agency, if the person making the request certifies to the consumer reporting agency that the only time anybody is supposed to report your report is if they are the government and it is about child support. Y'all see it for yourself. But now hold on, let me go pull up what 1681B under the USC shows you. Hold on.
It literally say they can only pull it to get child support. That's wild. And that's what it said. And I want to tell y'all something else. On the CFPB website, go to consumerfinance.gov and you click on rules. And under rules, it will take you to the ECFR. It tells you every single one that deals with that the CFPB deals with. And every single CFR we've given you is listed under there, including the billing error, which is under Regulation Z, Truth in Lending. It's right on the consumer finance website under education. It's right there.
All right. So that was. So this is 1681B, and this one is 81B. Okay, so let's go. Okay. Now you guys just see, I just showed you under the congressional record that it flat out said that unless it was for child support, they cannot pull your report, right? But now when you come over here to the USC, that ain't what it said. Now I'm in 1681B, permissible purposes. It talks about in response to the order of a court having jurisdiction to issue a order or subpoena issue in connection with proceedings. Okay, let's go down some more. And TSC use information in connection with a credit transaction involving a consumer to who the information to be furnished. Okay, let's go down some more. Do y'all see that? I don't see it. Oh, here we go. Of establishing an individual capacity to make child support payments, determine the appropriate level of such payments, or enforcing a child support order or award or agreement or judgment. Okay, so now it says that there in 4A, but now let's go back to show y'all why I need y'all to stop using USCs. That's not what that says all of the way. Which screen y'all see? The 1680, the section 604, nephew.
I can see it.
Okay, okay. That don't look the same, do it, nephew? It don't say the same. So It's only telling you that the only reason and the only way that your consumer report can be furnished is under these circumstances and no other. So that is the importance of making sure that you look up the USC code. So now, if you go all the way down to the bottom, for y'all trying to figure out how did I find that so easily. If you go all the way down to the bottom of any section you're on, the public law is right there. Now, this same law that I just showed you guys is right here. And you're going to come to that page there. You either can click on here, it's going to take you to the federal system, but it looks all funky. So just go to this one, and there it is. Okay. Modi.
Yep, I'm here.
Hey.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited, especially since you're talking about, I'm over here, hold on. I'm grinning from ear to ear because you're talking about exactly what I was talking about this morning, and the universe is good because I needed this information. A while back, hold on. I gotta get my cheese to go down. I'm smiling too hard. But a while back, I had sent a remittance coupon, like you were saying. We've been calling them remittance coupons, and now I'm learning. You educate every day. So I had sent a remittance coupon to the utility company that's in California. I'm in Sacramento, and they're called SMUD. So they sent me a letter back saying that I indeed did have a remittance coupon that I sent back to them, but I had turned it into a money order with the stamps on it and some UCC codes and some other stuff. But they weren't going to follow by the law, basically. So I sent off a copy of what I sent to SMUD to the utilities. Basically, they're like the administration where they, if there's an error or something or a problem, then you get in contact with them and they try to resolve it without the court. And they basically are like, okay, we're not going to do anything about it because you guys have been talking back and forth. And basically they're like, it was out of their hands. So long story short, SMUD is still sending me bills and I'm not paying them anything. I haven't paid them since like June, but my power is still on. However, I'm still getting bills. So I'm wondering what would be the next process I should do. I was thinking of doing the administrative process with like a conditional acceptance, but you seem to have a little more insight on this. So I want to hear what you have to say.
One is not a bill, it's a dividend check. It's a dividend check. So it's a dividend check. You want to get your payment, so you have to throw it in the billing error and read the actual contract. And if it's a utility company, they more than likely they can have an arbitration clause in there. It just depends on the contract. Every contract is different, but the contract literally tells you what to do and how to do it, as well as their terms and conditions. And that's where you always start from. I don't do conditional acceptances. I don't do any of that crap that y'all doing in the Telegram rooms. It don't work. I'm sorry to tell you, but I'm not sorry to tell you it does not work, because that's not what they said to do. What I teach you is to know how to look at your actual bill that's in your hand and utilize their policies and procedures against them, all while accessing your consumer rights. It was paid for with your signature. Everything is a security. You have to know the security laws. There is no magical template. There's no magical letter. There is you knowing what their rules are, what their security agreement looks like, what the security exchange. And the thing about it is, guys, FYI, all utility companies are nonprofit organizations. Go look them up. They're nonprofit. How are they making profit? Because you gave them permission to do so. So in that wise, you would definitely do the administrative process, but you also need to make sure to see what process did they tell you to do. It's on the contract. The billing error is definitely on there. Throw it in the billing error. Why is it in the billing error? Then that's when you will use the law and the banking rules and what account mean and things like that within your billing error to turn it over to your side to get all of your funds back, and not have to send them no conditional acceptance or anything like that every single month. Because what are you conditionally accepting is what I want to know. Like, that was a check, that wasn't a bill. That was a statement of your account on how much they made off of your account. Got it? So go read your terms and conditions and go read your bill. Find the billing error notice on there and throw it in the billing error. Now, you're not paying it, but make sure in the process of that billing error, you tell them that the law says the timing of payments that you are supposed to receive your payment for anything that's over $1 credit balance. Give them your routing and account number and tell them to act accordingly. Okay? And Jamie?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good.
I'm glad you're good. So I guess my question would be, I had a question in mind actually, and I kind of forgot, but I guess the next best thing is asking when would the back office will be available.
That's
I
not
have a
what we're
class
talking
or
about. That is absolutely not what we're talking about. Like, absolutely not what we're talking about. Like, we're gonna learn to stay on target because it's so many of us on this call. People extension span after 30 minutes just go blank anyway. But like, We ain't about to talk about that. Angela.
All right, it took me a minute. I just want to make sure that I'm like clarified, and I apologize if I like sound stupid, but sometimes my brain kind of doesn't process right. Anyways, like when you're talking about the dividend check, the money at the bottom where it says like balance, that's the money that they're supposed to be giving back to you, correct?
That is
Or is
correct.
it the whole
Whatever they say.
total amount of like the account? Like say on a credit card account, like would it be the whole total amount for that you have as credit, or just the balance for that particular statement?
Whatever the statement balance is, that is a dividend payment according to the Treasury, and it's on the Treasury Direct site. If you look up coupons, they get interest every 4 weeks. If you notice, you get a bill every 4 weeks. That is the interest on the account itself. The account does, depending on the type of contract, some mature in 9 months, some mature in 2 years, but they gain interest every 4 weeks. So that is actually an interest payment.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. So when you throw it in a billing error, you're asking them to release your funds, because the law says that anything over $1 credit, they are to immediately transfer to you. And that's where the Electronic Funds Transfer Act comes into place. I guess the really, I'm not going to say it's that simple, but it really is that simple. And being a lot of these groups and things like that, it'll make you think that you got to do 1,000,001 things. One, if you're trying to turn it into a money order and you send it to a PO box, they do what's called lockbox funding. They're not even getting it anyway. That's why they're ignoring it. It doesn't go to the CEO if you were doing it that way. It needs to go to the trustee, which is the bank. There is a lot of variables in there, but to get their attention and to do it immediately to get your bill in a do not pay, do not collect status, the bill tells you to throw it in a billing error. So the USC is the 15 USC 1666, going all the way down. And then you got the 12 CFR 1026.13. Angie.
Hi. So you said, and this is my second class, I started on December, and I hear the trustee, and then you said a verbiage earlier, when we send this letter, we have to find the trustee and let them know that they're, and I didn't catch the rest.
You guys be asking me to remember what I say, and that's like nearly impossible. I don't remember what I said.
Okay, so maybe you covered it last month in November. How can I access those recordings? Is there a way just so I can catch up?
From the November credit, the road to 700 class will be in my stand for after this class is over.
Okay.
And then you started when?
I started, I think the first week, the first class you started in December, that's when I started.
The one that didn't record that I was so
yes.
upset.
Yeah, that's
Well, it recorded. I think Zoom just straight erased it because it was there. Like I watched half of it that night before, and then they took 40 seconds. So I was not happy about that.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be, you should have already gotten the email of the 1130 class, which was the part 1 of the do not pay, do not collect status with the 1099s. If you didn't, I will resend that out because there were some new people. So for the new people that signed up, within the last day, you will get a email with 1130 class, which is part 1 of the do not pay, do not collect status, using various remedies with the 1099A, how to properly find the trustee is in that video.
Okay.
You guys will get a copy of the credit to 700 video will be in my stand store, and you guys can get it from there, which was the first part of the class. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Like car insurance, can we do this process with car insurance, or is this?
Yes. No, anybody who sends you a or that open-ended credit plan, which is your credit card bills, your cell phone bills. These are your monthly bills, anything outside, even your rent, depending on who the corporation is that you're renting from. I normally do that a little different, but for the most part, it's on the open-ended credit plan.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Samaya.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, how are you? So I was listening to the video you that I got from 11:30, but I just wanted to ask you if you would clarify something for me. So when you were looking at the 15 USC 1666 for the billing error, and like one of those parts when you keep reading, it says like unless they have some kind of I think it says like policy or something where they send you the statements periodically 21 days. So my issue was that when I sent that billing error dispute and used that, they were like, oh, well, since we're mailing it out and we don't have a return envelope, then basically it's considered received and you can't use this status and we're not going to throw the account into a billing error status. So I wanted to know, like, is there another law that I should be kind of looking at so that I can kind of combat what they said about not throwing it in billing error status?
Right. Well, when you go after them to throw it in the billing error status, you're not just quoting one law. You have to use every law up under the billing error that goes with whatever your particular situation is. So it's not just a one size fit all. It's not just that they add this amount of time to mail it out to you. It's securities fraud, point blank period. Like it's securities fraud. That is a payment that is owed to you and not one that is owed to them. So when you go after them, you have to have the full foundation and all of the laws that go with it. More importantly, you can opt out at any time. You can use the opt-out law. Anything that's on your credit report, you can opt out if it's a hindering the credit report. But as far as the billing error goes, it's a credit balance. So how are you paying a positive status? So you have to use all of the laws that is corresponding and not just one.
Okay.
If you expect for them to move for you.
Okay. And one more question. On the call, you said I wanted to know if it was okay if I email you. I think you said on the last class that I heard someone talking on recording, but you didn't really get into it about there being like another class that you have. So I wonder if I could email you about the other classes that you hold because I didn't see it. Like the only thing somebody gave me was like a link to this particular class, but I don't have the rest of your information to do the other classes.
All of the classes that I will have available will be in my stand store.
In your stand store.
And my private banking class is
okay.
Close. It's close.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Keisha.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
First things first, you're awesome. I've
Thank
been
you.
on and off of this stuff for many years, and I came to a full stop about a couple months ago, and I was just like, I'm not sending these documents in. Some of these paperwork is not making sense to me. And it's finally starting to make sense to me. Their processes were just, I'm like, this isn't making sense. Anyways, that aside, my question is, I have a particular account I'm thinking about working on right now, and it's with Westlake Financial. And it's currently in collection status. Is it possible for me to, do these particular codes apply to that as well, as long as they still hold it?
So Westlake is a auto financer, correct?
Yes.
So are you in repossession?
Yes.
Have they repoed it?
Yes, they have.
Why do y'all wait till they repo y'all card?
This was years ago. They repoed this a while ago. This was in 2018.
No, it's past the 3 years. They've already sent your money to the state. It wouldn't even be worth you even attempting to try to do anything at this point. Okay. After 3 years, considered abandoned, so it went to the state. So everybody knows that they have the lost money website where you can put your name in, your family name in, and be like, oh, they found some money for them. So everything that's public is also private. So with our consumer credit contracts, after 3 years, they say that the funds are abandoned. That's where the 1099A comes from. 1099A is abandoned in acquisition. Think about it, guys, right? So after 3 years, they say that you abandoned all of your money. You abandoned it because you didn't know it was there, and they gave it to your state, which is why the state put you up under contract as a state employee so that they can say that they rightfully own that money. Y'all see how it's one just big circle and they're all a part of it. And you're literally standing in the middle being tugged each and every way, you know. But the law also says that they have to write our remedy. Y'all just wasn't reading it right. Like, I know y'all don't hear like, it just cannot be that simple as throwing this thing in a billing error and I ain't got to pay this bill. Yes, it is that simple. There are people on this live that have done it literally from the last class that was a week ago. The class was on the Tuesday. She got it in a billing error on a Wednesday. You know, it is that simple, but you do have to make sure that you read the entire billing error law, but everything that applies to you. Everybody's situation is different. Your contract may say something different, but I guarantee you on the open-ended credit contract, which is your light bill, your gas bill, your cell phone bill, your water bill, that statement of how to throw it in the billing area and the address to where it sends it to. Like they literally give it to you guys. If you don't have a copy of your bill, call them and get it. Get a copy of it off the line. It's online too.
Okay.
And make sure that you tell them that that dividend payment that you guys are receiving every single month, that they are to deposit it into your bank account under the Electronic Funds Transfer Act. Make sure that you put in your billing error status that you want to get all of your funds back. I've seen T-Mobile do it. I'll drop their receipts. T-Mobile, the girl did it through the T-Mobile chat on her cell phone. And the next day they credited back every dollar she gave them back over a 10-year span, and they electronically did it because that is what the Electronic Fund Transfer Act is. Make sure y'all look that up. They use their words against them, find out who their trustee is. And so I'm going to make sure everybody in here gets that last class because it does show you how to find the trustee. Okay, you hear everybody was talking earlier about the SEC report, y'all broke it because everybody was on there trying to find a trustee. It is literally that simple. You know, you don't have to fight for the rights in which it is that the creator gave us. You just have to know how to assert them properly. Jamel, where you go?
Hey, I got a simple question, and it may be a little off topic. I know we're talking about open-end credit, so next class we're gonna be talking about closed-end credit. I mean closed-end contracts.
No, next class we are actually going through how to rescind your car contracts via doing arbitration, or how to do a arbitration lawsuit from beginning to end. Like we'll literally be walking through arbitration.
Well, you just answered my question for you just answered my question for me. But I got some receipts when this class just opened up. I already sent stuff in through the CFPB. I'm just waiting for a response with my credit cards because I told you a couple of days ago that I got them moving because I've been reading my contracts and going through stuff. And I just read my car contract the other day, and I'm like, I done found so much in that. I'm like, okay, so when that class gonna be so I can get them too?
There you go.
All
Yeah,
right, thank you.
You're welcome. And Jamel, tell y'all when he first started, he used to be in my inbox asking me questions. I'd be like, look, stand up, read it. And now he dropping more receipts than a little bit. Now when he inbox me or he texts me, he let me know that he got a remedy. Or if it's a text, he just texted me to see how I'm doing. He got my personal number because he actually texts me just to say, hey, sis, I hope you have a good day. And not because he asking to drain my life. So billing error, pull your bills out, turn it around on the back, go on their website, billing error. The main key thing about the billing error is that there is a credit balance of more than $1. If you don't remember nothing else, the credit balance more than $1. If you're dealing with a cell phone, you heard Amy, she used the telephone act she used, what she knew, and her phone is still on, and she gonna go a little deeper. Don't forget, Amy, go under Verizon, it's under their website. If you go into their terms and conditions through arbitration, it's the link. It's gonna be blue. You click on that, it's gonna take you to an electronic form to fill out for the billing error. And then finish it from there. Serena, wait a minute, y'all moving so fast. Lord have mercy, it kept moving on me. Where'd she go? Serena.
Greetings. No, I keep raising my hand. I know I raised my hand like 100 times and it keep being put down. So I'm not sure if it's a issue with Zoom or what. But my question is, so I've been doing my electricity. Well, it hasn't really been a bill. I've been doing it kind of pay as you go. And I haven't been letting them send me a bill because they wanted me to pay a deposit, and I didn't want to do that from the onset. So do I just need to now go in and get them to send me monthly statements then and get out of this status in order for this billing error to work, because they're not really sending me any bills? It just sends me a notification on my phone to let me know, hey, you got $25 left on your electricity, so you can add money now. So how does that work in that case?
Whether it's an electronic bill or a paper bill, it's all still the same.
Well, it's not really a bill though. It's like, because I'll put $150 say every 2 weeks, and as it dwindles down based on usage, it tells me, okay, you're at $25 now. So then I'll go and add more money, but it's not really a bill.
You're still having a statement of the account, because they have to measure your usage in order to come up with a number to tell you that you $25 left on your account.
Okay, so I'll probably just go to the company and get them to print something out, because I don't have anything. They don't send anything monthly or anything. But okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Melody.
Hi, thank you for having the class again. I'm learning so much. It's just my head is spinning from all the knowledge, but I'm happy about it. Okay, so my question is, as far as for I'm sorry, my daughter is right here. My question is, as far as for the utilization, London, as far as for the utilization, when it comes to like the credit balances, I was watching the video that you sent that we weren't supposed to get, I guess, with the 1099 information. I watched that call yesterday. So I know that it was saying that there was a certain way that we had to submit the bills to the trustee with the stamp and everything to get resolution for those dividend checks that are at the bottom. So does your status have to be corrected to do that? Or you can do it right now without the status correction?
Your status has nothing to do with you getting them to credit your account properly for a bill.
Okay. Stop.
No.
Okay.
No. Was that it?
Yeah, I believe that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So y'all just remember that people got you thinking you got to be in some type of status. First of all, you don't have a status on the record. That's number one. There's no status there. You are actually just updating your status in the system with the FOIA and the proper filling out of passport applications and things of that magnitude. There was a class on that. It's in my stand store. We did that a couple months ago. If you need to get your status recorded properly, where you are put on the do not detain list and things, and it's just properly filling out the SS5 form and redoing your passport application. But when it comes to billing errors and things like that, no, you don't have to be in any particular status. They don't have you in no particular status and they're sending you a bill to Mojo.
Hey, Pat, thank you for allowing me to be here. I'm glad everybody's here to learn just as well as I am. I have a question about the 1099A because I'm listening to you saying that hey, after 3 years, your account is deemed as abandoned to the state. And I live in Florida. And I know you mentioned, I went over the replay that you sent, and I went deep into that. You gave out so much good information. And you mentioned that 1099A, and I was like, man, if she can just, if there's a way where, maybe she has like some type of notes or something that I can like go off of and go deeper into. Yeah, I was just wondering about that 1099A. Is there a way where I can get access to that, maybe pay for it?
Yes, no, those of you that actually I opened, like I said, the membership was, the class was actually closed. I just I had reopened it. For those of you who got that video, I will be sending you guys out the template. Well, I won't call it a template, the instructions on how to properly utilize the 1099A. I'll send it to you guys tonight.
Okay, all right, sounds good. And what else did I have? About when it comes down to court, about court proceedings.
I'm not
No,
talking about that.
Yeah, but what I'm asking is about billing disputes. Is there any way that goes into conjunction with that in any way, or no? That's just the whole court. Yeah. So like if there's like it comes down to like billing disputes in court and court proceedings, is there any like type of conjunction in like that goes together with that, or no?
If you do the billing error status properly, they're just gonna hold on a second. They're just going to confirm with you. They just gonna conform to what it is that you're asking for without you having to take them to court. If you by chance do have to take them to court, take them to federal court. You heard someone earlier say that she attached the civil cover sheet, which I talked about in that last class. But normally, no, you don't have to take them to court if you put the proper information on the dispute when you first do it.
Gotcha. Okay. And one more question about the credit report. I've been trying to look for like different ways to get a really good credit report, but every website that I went to, it was terrible. So I was just wondering if you have any like website that I can maybe go to get a really good credit report where they actually
Identity Q or Privacy Guard guys is the best because there are several ways to get stuff off of your report, not just using the laws per se. With Identity Q and Privacy Guard, they actually line all three of your reports up next to each other. It's $1 trial. Just get it and download it. Okay. Cancel the trial, but it puts all three of your reports next to each other. So let's just say you got T-Mobile on there, right? And Experian has you down that you open the account September the 1st. TransUnion got September the 1st, but Equifax got September the 2nd. Guess what? You can get it removed off just because it's not uniform across the board. The law says that it has to provide accurate information, which means across the board, it has to all be the same on all three reports. So if it's a penny off, if a date open is off, if 1 month say it was on time, but another credit bureau say that it wasn't, those are all grounds to get it removed off. You don't just have to be 15 USC and 16. There's other things that you can use. And I say that when you go after them, I use them all. I give them no way to back out of what it is that I'm trying to do. And that is how we win. Okay. They'll use that too, but Privacy Guard and Identity Q are two very good things that you can do to download your report because it lines it up side by side. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're more than welcome. John Deach.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, John. How are you, Mr. John?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
My problem is going back a little bit with Experian. I have like nothing on there. It's like, it's empty, and it's what's been killing me. I've been back and forth on the phone with them, trying to resolve it. Told me to, they said they weren't getting any information from a credit card company. I called, so they told me to call them. I called Capital One, and they said they distribute the information once a month, around the 11th of every month. I've done the CFPB report, all this stuff. I just applied for the early, what is it, the early warning consumer report. I have experienced complaints back with nothing on it.
So do you have all of yours? I know you've been at this for a minute, so you've done a couple things.
I got LexisNexis.
Do you have, they're blank?
You know, it's just, you know, 2 years ago, there was a report, you know, all my credit scores around, you know, the TransUnion and the other one, they're close to 800. I don't owe anybody any money. I don't have a mortgage, nothing, you know, and it's just like, I don't know what the hell it is with Experian.
Okay, so with Experian, have you locked your Lexis, have you put a security freeze on your LexisNexis report?
No.
Never?
No.
Because LexisNexis and Experian is connected together. So if your LexisNexis report was locked and it had to be some years ago, then it will distribute as a no report.
No, it's the next thing I'm going to try to do is, you know, dispute the information on all 3 reports, because there's old stuff on there. You know, jobs I had tending bar back when I was 20 years old, you know. So I don't know what else to do. I've been working on this religiously every day, pretty much. And
Yeah, that one I don't have a solution to, making them put something on your report. That be between, is somewhere is locked somewhere in somebody's system that the information is not transmitting. And
I even furnished them,
at this.
I'm sorry, I even furnished them additional information, other accounts. You know, I just, you know, I've run out of, I keep running into dead ends, and I'm not going to give up. I'll tell you that. I never give up.
Never give up. You'll figure it out. I'll look into something and I'll see. I'll send you the head person that when I go to collect the bag through Experian for actually violating my rights with putting stuff on there. I'll send you their information and maybe they can add something on, because they sure cut a check. I'll tell you that much. They'll cut a check. So maybe they can cut your stuff back on your credit report, but I'll send you information.
I'd like to sue them, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Okay. Troy.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm super amazing. I did send you 2 emails, so please check them out in regards to the light therapy thing. Yeah. I had a quick question for you. I'd gone through the other video, and I'd sent my things off to the trustee for Lexus and Toyota Motors Lexus. The thing is that in the video toward the end, you talked about the stamp that goes on the top portion of the what we call a bill. And you mentioned the fact that you should put the trustee's name in the trustee's bank's name in the stamp, which made me totally confused, because what I did on my stamp is just put for presentation to United States Treasury, fiscal agent of the United States, for redemption or in exchange for securities of a new issue in accordance with the written instructions submitted by my beneficiary's name. So I'm like, I didn't understand. I couldn't figure out where the trustee.
Why would you put your beneficiary name on there? Your beneficiary name doesn't go on there. That's where the bank's name go, in that spot. And in accordance with instructions from, it will be that bank. Your name doesn't go there. So that's probably why they haven't replied to you. How much research or reading did you do after you watched my video? Or did you just jump right into getting the step made and stepping stuff and sending stuff?
Well, I mean, I've read it over multiple times and I thought I understood it. Maybe I didn't. That's what I figured I would ask. Yeah.
But you sent it to them already, right?
Yes, I did.
See, now they already know that you're coming. How did you send it to them? What type of mailing?
All right, I sent registered mail.
Did they receive it?
Yes, they did. They
Have they
received it on the 12th.
And they haven't responded back.
Wait, was it the 12th?
And then you put your beneficiary name in the spot where their name go. So technically you just sent them something non and void. And you can run into an issue where they be like, they see another registered mail and they see is your name and automatically block and say they're not gonna sign for it. Like when y'all go after these people, it's best to know and have the foundation y'all rushing. Stop rushing. Stop rushing. Rushing is going to make mistakes. Y'all have to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. Because what if they would have picked up the phone and called you, then what would you have said? You know, if it's presented by, we got to get, you only use your beneficiary signature when you're on the private side of the bank. And ain't nobody on this call on the private side of the bank, outside of the few people that's on this call that is in my private banking class. That's it. You are signing for the agent of the straw man, the same way you sign for these contracts. So leave that beneficiary signature alone until you make it to the private side of the bank where they understand why you're signing as the beneficiary. Because right now, if you haven't done the proper work, you're still in minor status. That is considered theft. Why do you think that the IRS come after you? Because you haven't put yourself in proper status with the SS5 form and doing the things that was in the recording national status class. This is why I did this class in steps of where you needed to start so that when you finish, you ain't got to double back and no. You heard girls say that the governor office confirmed to her that when she did that FOIA search, it went to everybody that's somebody that's important. That's your first step. That's in the federal system. Okay, you don't pay taxes. Someone else, that's also in this class. When I posted that earlier, she posted as soon as she did her FOIA, which put her in foreign status, her bank immediately sent her a W-8BN form. Now, let you try to just print out a W-8BN form and take it to your bank. They're going to close your bank account. But let them get notification from the IRS, who they have to listen to, that you are non-citizen foreign national now, and they need to use your account in that way. Then they're going to send you a W-8BN, and then you don't have any issue. I need y'all to slow down, please.
All right,
Slow
just real quick.
down.
I actually do have all my status correction done. All that's done. I have a letter from the IRS stating that my account has been resolved. So I'm not in that position, but I did make an error in how this was submitted. Is there a way to correct it?
You have to redo it. You just gonna have to redo it until they accept it. But now they know which way you coming, but you gotta redo it. You gotta redo it till it's right.
Okay, I'm really not clear on how the stamp is done then, because I've read through it multiple times.
If you go read the law, it tells you exactly how the stamp is supposed to go. And if you understand that is that the top part of that statement is the bond and what that bond represents and what the Treasury is looking for in order for you to be able to deposit that comes with you reading it and understanding it and not just reading it once or twice.
Okay, all right. Thank you. You have an incredible evening on purpose.
Thank you. You're gonna get it. Don't worry about it. Just go back and read it. Take your time and read it. I'm not exactly sure what you're attempting to do, but just go read it. I promise you, they tell you. Sabrina.
My laptop been acting so crazy the whole class, something wrong with it. And then by the time you called on me, I couldn't even get my video on. So I missed when you called on me. So that's what I wanted to say.
That was it?
Yeah, because I didn't hear the question that you asked me. And I was like,
it's okay. And you know, I forgot now if I remember how
yeah,
called.
it was like, because it was almost an hour ago now that it came back on. But yeah. I'm sorry.
She another one, y'all, that's just been killing it. And oh, you know what? Why I got you. Anybody, the electric company, because mostly electric companies are the same, guys, because they run under the Public Utilities Commission. Can you advise them, what did you have to do to get your light bill in a billing error status? She actually did it less than 24 hours after the last class, and she can advise you of what she had to do in order to do that.
Well, no, I'm gonna tell you, I've been beefing with my electric company for a long time now. So because I was learning this information, and when she said you moving too fast, y'all, for real, I done made so many errors moving too fast. Okay. Done paid for stuff, then got my car taken and everything. So y'all, please slow down, because now I gotta fix what I messed up plus finish off other things. So slow down is important. But I just had to look it up because they hide everything, y'all. They hide everything. I had to find information in my freaking cell phone contract on how to take them to arbitration on the website. It wasn't even on the contract, but I looked and you have to call them first to put it in billing error or do the billing dispute. You have to call them first. And then you have to go onto the puc.gov website. And then you file a complaint with them. And as soon as they get the complaint, it comes right in. Because I even did it with my cable company, and they actually called me yesterday about it. But when I was talking to the lady on the, well, it was a guy on the phone, I was talking to him and basically just breaking down all the billing disputes that I had. And I also made sure, because that's how they do the billing dispute, I also made sure that to ask for my refund, and also ran down each law and explained each law and why I was standing on each law. And that's very important, because you're gonna get a fast response. The first time I put it in on the PUC, they called me and said they wasn't gonna do my billing dispute. They dismissed it. When I just put it back in with all of those laws on there, and why I was putting the billing error dispute in, and why the mail that I was getting in the mail that they were sending me was a dividends check, and it's not something I'm supposed to be paying them. I'm not supposed to be paying a debt with a debt. They immediately put that case in and said that they're going to respond back to me, and they was going to move forward with it. So make sure y'all standing on them laws and letting it flow. Cause I didn't have no book in my hand when I was telling them laws. I was literally just running it down to them, because I knew at that point, I've been fighting with them for a long time. I knew what was going on at that point.
There you go. And she also is a vehicle in arbitration, and she was going back and forth with the attorney. Like, he was emailing her back and forth. And when I told her to put in there about the securities fraud, and the email just stopped. He still have not emailed her back, because it's about using certain words. Okay, you get to talking about securities, they know you know a little something. And as you heard her say, she'd been battling them for months. She was putting it in before, and they were ignoring it. But when she put all of the appropriate laws and start using their terminology, because remember, corporations, they only know their words. They've only been trained on their words. So you have to be trained on their words. Okay, I had a situation about a week ago with my spiritualist. I sent her a wire transfer. And I know that wire transfer are immediately. I know that once it take from my account, it went straight to hers. And I asked her, did she get it? And she said no. So we called her bank together on three-way, and she gave them permission for me to speak. Well, that was the wrong thing that they should have did. And when the guy at first was saying, hey, it could take 2 to 3 business days. And I got to running down the Electronic Funds Transfer Act and the fact of how the clearinghouse system work. And you know what he said to me? He said, I love to hear people that actually know how our system work. Hold on one second. Now it went from it's going to take 2 to 3 days. So he put me on hold to talk to somebody's department. It came back 3 minutes later. And before we hung up, her wire transfer was there. Right. But now what if I just would have accepted 2, 3 days? Like they expect everybody else to do and say, oh, okay. And they be mad. And then they cuss them out, and they cuss them out, and they still ain't did it. Cuss them out with the law without raising your voice. or what you know your rights is. And because I know how wire works, I know how the bank work, I was able to use their terminology. And let me tell y'all something, when y'all don't need customer service calls, because I have worked customer service back when I was like in my early 20s. Yeah, early 20s. Certain key words, when they say all calls are monitored and recorded, they are. And they have people listening to these calls. They don't, certain keywords will make a supervisor get on that phone. So when you get to using words like securities, and I know you got a custodial primary linked account connected to my account, oh, you best believe somebody gonna interrupt and say, well, ma'am, you know, we're gonna take this call over, because you have sparked using certain words. Learn their terminology, guys. That's the only way you're going to win with them. Stop trying to go against them, okay? We know there is no money and you cannot pay debt with a debt. So what other way did the government give you to pay and use it? The UCC laws say that no state can say that a certain thing has to be money. Go look up the case where the man used, I think it was 100 coffee beans or whatever, because they said that this was, he got a judgment against them, and the judge said, I don't care how you bring it in. So he said that coffee beans had a value to it and took that amount of coffee beans in, and they had to accept it because of what the judge said. Start learning to use these people words against them. You know your signature paid for it, boom. You know you got a right to opt out of anything that's on your credit report. Use it. Use it. And I believe that's what, 15 USC 6508 or 85, yes, 6508. Stop letting these people tell y'all anything, or y'all just be like, okay, no, not okay. Where's your boss? Where's your boss? Where's somebody's boss? Stop just accepting anything that these people give y'all. Jamaris, throw them bills in a billing error before Christmas. Like, y'all can literally throw y'all bills in a billing error before Christmas, because as soon as you throw it in a billing error, according to your contract, go read your bill, read your contract, throw that shit in a damn billing error before Christmas, so y'all can wake up on, start y'all new year, not talk about I owe the light company or the gas company or the water company. Put the burden of proof on them at that point. They not gonna ever be able to prove to you that you owe them anything. Jamaris, there you go. Raise your hand again for me. You disappear. I'll come back to you. S. Beard.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Hi, good evening. So my question. So currently my girlfriend and I, we split the utilities and we're both on the utility bill. How would we go about that, putting it in billing error? Is it still the same situation?
Either one of you guys can do it because you're both on the bill.
Okay.
So it don't matter which one of y'all put it in, did somebody put it in?
Perfect. Okay.
And, that's crazy because they're getting double the money they tapped into both of you guys' account because y'all both put yours.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Okay. So I should get her to do it as well then.
Yeah, both of you guys do it. Absolutely.
Okay. Could I ask one more question?
Yes.
I currently, I went through a bankruptcy in 2019, and it's on my credit report as public record. I currently know who the trustee is. How should I go about removing that?
You're just trying to get it removed off your record?
Mm-hmm. It's the worst thing.
So this is what you do. Anybody that got a bankruptcy, y'all ready? Do a CFPB complaint and let them know that you have notification back from the bankruptcy court that say that they do not provide information to third party, and that under the privacy law of 1974 and the opt-out law, that any authorization that they believe that they have, they no longer, and it needs to be removed. That's it, that's all.
Wow. Okay. Complaint to the CFPB. Got you.
Yeah, and make sure you put in there that you, because look, they lie, so we lie too. Okay, I do got one of those letters. I gotta find it where you could just change the info. But anyway, yeah, because if you were to call the bankruptcy court, they will tell you that they do not provide your information to third-party creditors, third-party people, period. Okay, so you use that and just put in the CFPB complaint and say that they said they do not provide my information and you did not give them permission to have it. It's a violation of the Privacy Act of 1974. And if this company do believe that they received my permission, that you are now opting out per the law, and it needs to be removed according to the law within 4 days. That's it, that's all.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I will definitely be doing that.
Absolutely. Let me know how fast they take it off, because they absolutely are about to take it off, okay?
Will do. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Shirley. Where you go? Okay, when you get it together, just come back. Jamaris, there you go again, Jamaris. Oh,
Am I
okay,
there?
wait, Jamaris. Yes, go ahead, Miss Shirley.
Okay, sorry about that. I couldn't find me to unmute.
It's okay.
Okay, so when we are asking, when we're going into billing error and we're putting our dispute out there with all the rules, and then we're additionally asking that we want them to return our dividends to us, you said that we could put our routing number and stuff and have them electronically transfer it like they're supposed to into our account. Are you referring to a TDA account?
No, ma'am. I am referring to your bank account that you currently have.
So not a TDA, just my regular bank account.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then to clarify from what Troy was saying about, you said we're never to use the beneficiary signature, but I thought when we were making a note, like when we're trying to pay off our mortgage and we copy our note onto bond paper, we turn it over, and don't we sign it with our beneficiary signature, pay to the order of whoever the trustee bank is, and then we put our beneficiary signature on the back with the however amount of stamps on it.
Right, so that's the information you got from my discharge that shit video.
Yes.
Oh, I know, it's floating around Telegram. I hope y'all enjoying it. I know everybody looking, yeah, my stuff floating around Telegram. Y'all let Brian Panky know and everybody else that know that I got it, but hell, y'all here, so what to tell y'all, because y'all still confused because they can't help you. But anyway, so that's something different than us doing the error. So it just, like I said, depending on the contract will depend on what it is that you're doing. So it not in this case will you be signing with your beneficiary, because he was using the stamp. So the stamp that he is using is based off of the proper endorsement law.
Right.
How that we are. Nephew, can you pull that law up for me, please? So
No,
they
I
can
know.
see where we're getting about this stamp. And if you guys got the last class, it was in the last class as well. But that is when you're doing your monthly statements and things of that magnitude.
Okay. Can I ask you one last question? It's really quick.
Yeah, shoot.
When we have funds transferred to our TDA account.
You cannot transfer funds to your TDA account.
Well, when we
I hate that I ever said anything about that. You guys are trying to use the TDA in a manner and ain't read not one thing. That if you are using your TDA account on this side of, on the public side, you're only allowed to transfer $100 at a time in there. Y'all please leave that TDA alone. That's why y'all getting papers and they shutting y'all accounts down. And I'm just telling y'all, just stop, just leave it alone. Y'all took one little part out of there and ran to the Treasury Direct website, opening up these TDA accounts and have absolutely positively no idea to do with it. They're going to come to me and think that I'm going to give you the answer to it. And if you're not, the private side of the bank, that TDA account is not going to do nothing but get shut down. And I'm telling you.
Well, if I'm trying to discharge my mortgage,
Well,
that's
we're not talking about mortgage, sorry.
Okay, sorry. Yep, you're right. Thank you so much. I appreciate all your help.
You're welcome. The mortgage is a whole class in itself, like, because mortgages are not done nowhere near the same. Because guess what? Your mortgage, every last one of y'all on this call is registered at your county register office as a damn parcel number. I'm serious. Y'all original birth certificate, the one they say your daddy abandoned, that they put the ad in the newspaper all the way in Taiwan. Look at John shaking his head because he know all the way in Taiwan, they made you a transmitting utility with the birth certificate that is at the county level. I keep telling y'all to get the birth certificate at the county level. I'm going to tell you again, get your birth certificate at the county level. That state one that say live certificate of birth ain't the one that you want. Yeah, it got value to it, but the one that you really want, the one that made you a transmitting utility, the one that you need to re-put back on the record with the age of majority is at your county level. The one that say your mama's an informant, the one that is at the federal treasury that they putting all over the world, that's under the GMI utility, is not the one you're getting through Vital Check from your state. You need your county level, county level, county level, county level. It'll say the city that you were born in on it. Mine say city of Detroit on there. Says my mother is informant. It has her physical signature on there. It has the doctor's name on there. That is the long form. If you in PA, I'm sorry, you ain't gonna be able to get it unless you done did the FOIA, showing that you are that you're not a US citizen. If not, they got Charles locked down for 99 years. Now that is the one that you want to put back on the record with the age of majority. But mortgages are totally different. That's like a 2-month class all in itself. Andre?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. You said something about our bills being in arbitration, but I remember from the last class that arbitration was done with in March, and I guess it went in effect into September. Does that still apply for our monthly bills as far as the arbitration is concerned, or is that something that we can ask them, about a terms and condition, an updated terms and condition?
So it just really depends, because some bills depending on the bill, and it'll tell you that you have to throw it in arbitration. So that's mostly your cell phone companies. Every last one of them has an arbitration clause in there. Your lights, gas, and water, there's a billing error notice on the back of your bill. The thing about it, if you already previously signed a contract and there was arbitration included in it, you still do have to follow those arbitration rules, unless your company has sent you a updated terms and conditions and you have agreed to it. If the arbitration clause is no longer in there, you can take them straight to federal court. The only reason why they put the arbitration clause in all of the consumer contracts is to stop you from going to federal court. Because they know if you take them to federal court for securities fraud, because the law says that anytime you're dealing with the security is automatic federal jurisdiction. So every last one of these cases, including eviction, are supposed to be in federal court because that lease was turned into a security.
Right.
So just read your updated terms and conditions to see if it's lights, gas, waters, credit card, that's a billing error, it's on the bill. Cars, cell phone contracts and things like that, it talks about arbitration. So just read the contract and see which mode did they give you. Did they give you arbitration or did you get a billing error? All of them are a billing error, but it will just depend on how you have to go about asserting the rights. Does it need to be through arbitration or can you go straight through the billing error? So just find the information on your bill itself.
Okay, appreciate it.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. One other quick question. I'm within my first 30 days of buying a car, and I was in a class, and when I was filling out my paperwork, I was careful to read it, and it still had the arbitration law on there. Now I did go back by there and say to the dealership, because it was a side dealership. It wasn't nothing main. And I asked him about, I said, well, the arbitration law has changed. Y'all have an updated terms and condition. And he said he would get back with me. Right. So
don't stop, y'all. Stop, y'all. Please stop doing that. Let me tell you something.
Okay.
Car dealerships is the middleman. They're credit arrangers. They are credit arrangers. That's it. They arrange for you to get credit. Okay. That's it. They put your name in the system and toss you up and see who gonna give you the best deal and come back and swear they gave you credit. What happens is they ain't even got paid for your car yet. And you up there talking about arbitration, you'll wake up and that car be gone. They good for that.
Okay.
Don't go up there asking them nothing. Make sure they got paid first because they sold your contract, but I can guarantee you they ain't got that check yet. And then you'll be dealing directly with the finance company from there and not the dealership, because the dealership are credit arrangers.
Right.
Which makes the contract fraud, because if you look at the top of your contract, what does it say? That the creditor was who? The dealership. But how can the dealership be the creditor if they're nothing but credit arrangers? I actually just put that law on my page. There's a law and a case law that talks about them being credit arrangers. That's all that they are. So you can definitely get them for dealer fraud. But what I will do, I will wait until you are completely through the finance company system. And then I will ask the finance company to send me a copy of the contract that they have. I can promise you it's not the same contract that the dealership gave you. Now you can get the dealership for dealer fraud, and then you can do a cancel out of the contract under the consumer laws via arbitration, because arbitration is put in there, even though the arbitration laws have changed. But now you do have one good thing that you can do. If you read that arbitration law, it told you that you got 30 days
30
to
days,
opt out of having. So opt out and send it to the address that they gave you. So that way, when you're ready to hit them, you can go straight to federal court. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna send that letter tomorrow.
Yep. Send it off tomorrow. Make sure that you send it where you got a chain of custody and you know that it's been sent. So now when you're ready to go after them, you don't have to do arbitration because you follow what the law said when they say you got 30 days. See, when I tell y'all, they tell you everything. They even tell you that when they send you a new credit thing that they about to put on your account, they tell you that if you don't agree with this, that you can send us a writing in 30 days. Guys, if you ever do that, you have now immediately stopped that thing from going on your credit report. It tells you, we give you 30 days to deny this debt. Y'all better start reading that stuff and complying with these people.
Now,
But in a way that you win it.
should I get it notarized before I send it registered mail, or just?
I sure would, because at the point that you made it notarized, it's now a legal document. And if your notary know anything about notary presentment, because most notaries don't even know that they can do notary presentment. But if she knows notary, he or she knows notary presentment, get them to do that. If not, please make sure that you get it notarized.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. Holly Davidson.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, me and my wife are in your class here, and we wanted to know what the time limit was on when we sent all that stuff to the trustee. It's been 2 weeks. We haven't heard anything from them. Now, how would we follow up to make sure? Because we've noticed on several of our accounts that we went and looked up, it always goes back to like a Wells Fargo. And if we have 2 or 3 of them in that Wells Fargo, it's different trustees on different accounts. So we've noticed that there's several trustees for Wells Fargo. There's several indenture trustees for the New York Bank, the Milano Bank up there. But we've gave them 2 weeks and it went registered mail and we still haven't got a response.
Did you send it to a physical person?
Yes. Physical person and the bank, and we've sent 3 of them out.
And you got documentation back showing that it's being delivered?
Yes, ma'am. On the firm book at the post office.
Okay, perfect. So now the next thing you send them, did you give them a time frame to respond to you? Because they legally got 30 days to respond, but did you give them a time frame?
No, man, we didn't put them a time frame in there. We figured that they'd hop on it, but we figured that if everybody learning this knowledge now and they're all sending it in, so they probably got a big old table full of them.
I doubt it. Most people can't find a trustee, and unless you're in my class, then you don't even know to send it to the trustee. Everybody telling you to send it to the CEO. But the thing of the matter is, if they don't respond to you within the time frame that you feel is sufficient, follow up and send them another one. But this time, add a civil cover sheet, a federal civil cover sheet, letting them know that you're about to sue their ass and that you're about to make a complaint with the security exchange. I bet you they'll call you there.
The JS 44.
There you go.
There you go.
That and make sure that you put tag. So when you do your documentation and you're sending them a letter, you know how on the letter you have to put everybody you sent it to. put the security exchange and the comp controller information on there as well. They will respond to you immediately. They're scared. Now they'll work with the CFPB and even the comp controller, get to talking about the security exchange, and they'll they'll respond to you very quickly, very quickly. Okay, that's how you get them involved.
We also send that registered mail.
Yeah, anything that you see and you're going to send in registered mail because it's security and you have to follow the law, even though they're not.
I got to tell you, I'm 46 years old and I've been learning this for the last month and stuff. I got to throw all that stuff I learned in school completely out of my brain and put all this new stuff back in there.
Absolutely. And it's a process. Just take one thing at a time because it can be an awful lot. And y'all rushing to learn because y'all running out of time. So try to hit it the first time you do it so you don't have to keep coming back to the same companies. I'm not exactly sure what you sent to them, but I know if you send them a federal cover sheet, tell them you're going to hit them for securities fraud, they'll call you back or respond back to you very quickly.
All righty. I appreciate your time and you've done an awesome job.
Thank
God bless.
you. My pleasure. Jamaris.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, pal. I've been doing a whole lot of studying from the past few weeks. Now, we've always had a consultation with each other, but I know you've been busy a lot and I've been doing a whole lot of studying. Then I didn't do no kind of like actual throwing documents out. I just been doing studying, like learning to ask, just keep reading and reading. And also I did do Experian and TransUnion. I did all three. I did all three reporting agencies. I cleared my personal and my inquiries. I did those easy because I already knew about what is taking that off of my credit. As soon as I told them about unmailable address, they started swiping off literally about everything off of my personal. And then after the inquiries, that was just easy. I just know how to do that anyway. But my main problem is I got to is when I'm trying to get the zero credit utilization. I've been trying to I called them and then they'll tell me all told me the same thing over and over again. They'll tell me saying what you got to tell Discover or whatever company you with that they're reporting to them. You got to tell them to stop reporting them because they get the report from them all the time. And I was trying to see because I did since I tried to ask you about it. I see you were busy, so I went up here. I remember on your call you told us you said write up a letter and then write a nice little letter on it and then lie. Put like lie about the date. Throw the back date right like months later. So I made a good one like that. And then stay in the laws. And I'm gonna change it now since you said 15. I know you said 15, the USC's laws are just the backup laws. I'm just gonna start just start quoting nothing but CFRs since they're more powerful than the USC's.
Correct.
And I was trying to see should I do that with a CFPB complaint or
yes,
should I just keep calling?
No, do it with a CFPB complaint. But when you do the complaint, when you get to the end, it asks you, do you want to add a company? So add all of the credit bureau reporting agencies that's reporting it, as well as Discover or whatever credit card company it is, put them all on the same report. That way all of them will get it. You only have to do one report. And then at that point, they should remove it because they remember, as we heard in the beginning, and it's on your bills, guys, just go pull your bills. It says that if you call them, that they are not obligated to answer you. So just do it through the CFPB, upload the letter. Mention in your letter that you are in the process of doing a billing error dispute. Now with the billing error dispute, they automatically cannot do any reporting When you do the proper billing error dispute, they will not do an adverse action and cut your services, well, cut your credit card off. Capital One is good. If you do not do Capital One exactly how they say through arbitration, you might as well wait on the letter that's saying you violated one of their terms and they have cut your card off. For you guys that are dealing with these credit card companies that say, oh, we can pull your credit report so you can have access to it, that is a trap, because they monitor your credit report every month. And if your credit score lower, then they'll lower your balance that you can use with them. So if anybody had any of those issues, that is why, because you are giving them unlimited access to pull your credit every single month. And if your credit fall below their credit rating, even though you've been a customer with them, they will either close your card or they will cut down your available balance that you can use with them. Stop giving these people access to all y'all stuff. You think it's convenient when they really playing the mess out of you. For real.
Hey, I got one more thing, pal. It's not a question. It's just I'm gonna keep studying what I'm doing because I know I just keep getting my foundation straight before I even do anything. I had wanted to know when can we do our first call, because I got a lot more questions. They're like just yes or no, like yes or no and true or false questions. Like
I'll send you an email.
Okay.
I've been getting everybody rescheduled. I'll say it'll be after the holiday, but I'll send you an email.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Malachi. It is, come on down. You the next contestant on the Path of Freedom. Ask me a question.
Hi, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear you.
Let's see. It's not working, babe.
Mute it.
I did.
We can hear you. Well, all right then. I guess that didn't work out. We'll come back to you. John.
Hi, Tamika. How you doing? Hope all
I'm
is well. I was fortunate enough to take some vacation off for the rest of the year through my job. So I've been focusing all on this. I've read a lot of stuff and I've sent you an email. Didn't expect you to reply. I know you're busy. I kind of hit a brick wall, and that is with the first process of finding the trustee and endorsing the bond with a stamp. So I have no questions about the stamp anymore. But I suspect that everything that we send out is going to have a cover sheet. And I'm not confident to know what to put on the cover sheet to give direction for the trustee to execute.
What are you trying to execute?
Well, we're trying to get we're endorsing the bond. As it's for my Amex card. Okay. So I went through, found the trustee, know the owner, know the indenture. And so I'm sitting waiting to figure out, and not sitting waiting for you, but I've gone over the videos and I know like we're supposed to send it to the indenture trustee. We're supposed to send it and copy in the owner trustee, but I just simply don't. My foundation is off. I feel like I've hit a brick wall where there's something that's not clicking with me to where I know what
you're telling them to do. You need to know how to direct them.
Yes. Thank you for articulating that.
It's okay. The Trust Indenture Act of 1939 to tell you what you could tell them to do. The security agreement that you pull from them to find their trustee, it tells you in there what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to cancel out your debt at the end of by the end of March the 31st of the prior year. You know that according to the billing error status, that a credit over $1, they're supposed to immediately deposit into your account.
Well, if I may, like this was before we learned the billing error status. So I did read the Securities Act of the Indentured Trustee Act of 1939, and it says what the roles and responsibilities of the indentured trustee is. But I couldn't find out how to articulate directing them on what to do.
That's your playbook, the Trust Indenture Act. So whatever their role is within that act is what you could tell them to do. Just that.
Okay, I will reread.
Just that. You know that they're supposed to credit your account. They're supposed to transfer it. They're supposed to settle out your balance at the end of every month. That the statement that you receive for the dividend interest, that they needed to do a deposit in your account via the Electronic Funds Transfer Act, things like that.
Okay.
And tell them to do it on a continuous basis. You just direct them based off of their roles and their duties, and also the agreement that they sign. You can literally take it word from the Trust Act and put it in your paper. Whatever you expect for them to do, as long as it's in accordance with the law, you can ask them to do it. At that point, I will tell them that I need an open-ended account that settles out at the end of every month. That the dividend coupon that you receive through the Treasury for securitizing my coupon needs to be deposited into my account every 4 weeks, and here's the account number. You need to return all funds because I inadvertently sent you a debt note. I even apologized to them one time. Like, oh my goodness, like I played real dumb. Like, oh my goodness, I just realized that I have not really been in honor in paying my bills because I sent you a debt note. So, hey, I need you to give me those back. I need you to give me those back because I didn't mean to give you those. And then this is what I need you to do. I need you to give me a open-ended credit account that settles off at the end of every month, where you can occasionally charge me an interest charge per the law. I need you to return all FRNs that I provided to you. Just like that.
So I have a stronger foundation. The Indenture Trustee Act of 1939. Which other
The
ones?
Security Exchange Act of 1932 and 34. And the Uniform Commercial Code. The Uniform Commercial Codes and the Uniform Consumer Credit Codes. Nobody talk about everybody talk about the UCC. Nobody talk about the UCCC. The Uniform Consumer Credit Code. That got all your answers in it.
Okay.
Okay. You read that Indenture Trustee Act a couple times, and then read your Trust Indenture Act. That security agreement they put on file with the SEC, the one that you pulled to find out who it is, it tells you everything, how they supposed to cancel out the debt, how they supposed to give you dollar for dollar. You put all of that in there.
Okay.
And tell them to perform. And going after American Express, put a federal cover sheet on there and make sure you check the box for security fraud and consumer credit.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
You're welcome. You got it. I will be, guys, when I send out this class to you guys, I will be sending you guys out an example of how a billing error should be constructed. Please do not word it word for word. Please do not copy and paste it and use the exact same. Add what you need to add to it. But I do know that sometimes writing these forms, as he said, can be like, okay, I know it, but now how do I articulate it on paper to these corporations for them to understand it? So I will provide you guys with an example of how to construct your billing error to make sure that it is effective for you to do what you have to do along with this class. Okay, so y'all will get that.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome.
And I think that we're going to take one more because it's been about an hour of us answering questions so far. And I know we've done more than 10.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you, nephew. All right, Amy, credit hacks.
Okay, how y'all doing?
I'm great.
Yeah, I had a question. I had an account with Credit One Bank. It's a credit card company. And they did a charge off on my account, charge off profit loss or whatever. And so I asked them for a 1099 fee. because they had sold my account to a third party collection, debt collection agency. And so what they did when I asked them for a 1099-C, they took it off my credit report, but still left the collection agency coming after me. So they took themselves off, but they left the collection agency on there.
Yes. Okay, so when Credit One Bank sold it, they no longer had it. And that's why the credit agency is on there, because the credit agency bought it. It's called zombie debt. So they actually bought it. But because the credit agency bought it and Credit One Bank charged it off, a charge off cannot show up on your credit report because charge offs are considered income under the IRS publication. So under the IRS, anything that is on your reports, guys, that is charged off, it is considered income, and income cannot be reported. You can simply use that law and they'll remove it. It's income now because it's considered a certificate of indebtedness. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So for you guys that just got brand new, you guys will get the last do not pay, do not collect status video that will show you how to utilize the 1099, how to find the trustee. You guys will get a copy of the 1099 process as well for you guys that did not get it. I do have you guys all in a mass email. So if you get the email, you already got it, just disregard it. It just makes it easier for me to use the system that I'm using because I got you guys all grouped together. So you'll have that remedy to use for that one. The billing error is just as simple as pulling it up on your bill. See if your bill says arbitration or if it's just a billing error clause. And I can tell you, as I said, lights, gas, cable, credit card bills, they're all a open-ended consumer credit. So they all have the billing error on the bill. You can actually take that part of your bill and highlight it and send it to them, because it does say on there that they cannot do any adverse actions by cutting your card off and things of that magnitude. Okay, if your bill says arbitration, yes, you can still do both. The class that we have on the 29th will walk you guys through arbitration. You guys will actually get, before that class, it'll probably be the night before or the day of, you guys will get a PDF from me so that as I'm walking through the arbitration, you guys will be walking through it too, because you guys will have a physical copy of what I will have and that I will be going through with you guys. I will send that out before. For the new people, the link for the class always comes out 24 hours before, and it'll come out the day of. You will always get your password 2 hours before. The password never stays the same because unfortunately people like to steal my videos. Okay. Yes, you have to Zoom register for every class, just so I can make sure that nobody that's not supposed to be here is not here. So the credit video will be in the stand store. The 1130 video, the do not pay, do not collect status part 1 will be sent to everybody. If you already got it, most of you do. This video recording will also be sent to you guys. It normally take overnight because of how long they are for Zoom to send it to me already, and then it will be sent to you guys. I will send out the 1099 packet, and the next class is on the 29th. But for your billing error, just pull it. It's going to tell you the address. Make sure that you send it registered mail. For the questions in regarding to the back office, and we are still, well, my IT guy, we do have an on-board IT guy. He is finishing up the website. It will be ready at the top of the year. Once you guys are able to access the website, then that is where your back office will be, where all of the recordings, the PowerPoints and things of that magnitude, announcements and everything will be moved over to the website. So we don't have to worry about Breakout, TikTok, and nobody else, because we'll be behind our own server from that point. Okay. And besides that, you guys have a good night for your bills. If you're already on, if you're on paperless billing, it's just easier to just get it off of paperless billing, or you can honestly go on their website, pull terms and conditions. But I will send that example. I'll send actually a couple of examples depending on the type of bill it is, whether it's a credit card or utility, and a billing error example for you guys to be able to kind of help you with your writing, okay? and I'm still answering emails, but if you're trying to ask me a whole lot of questions, I promise you I'm going to ignore it because I have other things to do. So besides that, y'all have a very good night, and I will see y'all on Tuesday, and I'll see y'all on social media.